Zitten wij hier?
Ja.
Nee, hier. Hier. Ja, kan jouw linkerkant zitten dan?
Nee. Absoluut uitgesloten.
Volgens mij is dit de headset die jij tijdens de herhaling gebruikt.
Oh, top.
Maar goed, als er nog bacillen of bacteriën aan de microfoon zitten, zijn ze inmiddels wel dood.
Dat is waar, ja. Ja, super, super. Heel mooi. Ja.
Check, check.
Welke ben ik ook weer?
Jij bent deze.
Yep. Ja, oh, we zijn heel hard inderdaad. Ja.
Dit is de headphones, deze.
Ja.
Kan ook...
Ja. Nou ja, dit verandert het stadiongeluid, maar ons, oh ja, ons ook. Ja, ja, oké. Ja. Top. Hier hoeven we niks mee te doen, hè? Nee. Zet hem maar uit. Zet hem maar uit. Oké. Yes.
Check, check. 1, 2, check, check.
Yes.
It is really cool.
Goedenavond, dames en heren. Mag ik de twee...
A very warm welcome to everyone watching the Holland Series 2022. Team Curaçao Neptunus is taking the field, taking the line to welcome some people. But what you're hearing in the background is not only very loud, but it's also a speech. So maybe we'll come back after the speech.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Thank you.
Te zijn geweest met pensioen gaat. En wat ik al zei, dat willen we niet zomaar aan ons voorbij laten gaan. Dus de laatste Holland Series van Jan wil ik heel even benoemen wat Jan hier bij Neptunus heeft gepresteerd in al die jaren. En dat is dat hij in 1979 gekomen is als speler, dat hij 10 jaar als speler actief is geweest, daarna nog al 35 jaar als coach. Jan is de enige van Neptunus die alle titels, zowel de Nederlandse kampioenschappen als de Europese titels, op het veld stond of in de dugout zat. De nu aan. Dus 19 keer landskampioen, 15 keer de Europa Cup gewonnen. Ik weet niet hoeveel wedstrijden het zijn geweest, maar Jan is iemand die we niet zo laten gaan. Dus bij het begin van deze Holland Series een mooi moment om waar te stilstaan en ik wil u graag verzoeken om een groot applaus voor Jan. En alles wat betekent. En zoals ik al zei, Jan is een echt liefhebber van whisky. Ik denk dat we zaten in het uit al een beetje te lachen. Ik denk dat hij inmiddels al 5 van deze heeft gehad. 50 jaar, 60 jaar, 70 jaar. Maar dit is denk ik wel echt de laatste. Dus is het goed. Dank u wel. En dan gaan we beginnen met de wedstrijd. En dat is mooi om dat ook ceremonieel te starten. Dan ga ik doen. Dan gaan we opballen. Het is de mooiste seriewedstrijden van het jaar. We zijn blij dat jullie er allemaal zijn. Van harte welkom. We gaan een mooie serie van maken. Leuk om tegen HCAW te spelen. Waarschijnlijk hebben jullie het al gelezen. De laatste keer dat HCAW en Neptunus tegenover elkaar stonden was in 2005. En het leek mij wel gepast met Jan hier aanwezig om dan ook Paul van de Hoever uit te nodigen, die toen mee met Jan de coach was van dat team. Paul was toen in zijn 7e seizoen als coach, 7 keer op rij landskampioen, dus dat heeft hij heel netjes gedaan. Dus ik wil graag ook voor een mooie opening van de Holland Series vragen voor Paul. De eerste bal gooien naar Jan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, baseball fans from all over the world, it's time for Holland Series 2022. Welcome from Rotterdam. We're at Curaçao Neptunus and we're going to see the first game of the Holland Series. Curaçao Neptunus versus HCAW from Bussum. Next to me, joining me in the commentator booth, is Jasper Roos. Welcome,
Jason. How are you doing, Jason?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I am very excited to be back in the booth with you watching some baseball. We were part of the broadcast crew that people may have been watching during Honkbal Week a couple weeks ago, or a month and a half ago.
Yep.
And we are back here for the Holland Series. And in case you're watching from the Netherlands and you're wondering why Jason and I are speaking English, that is because we have viewers from all over the world tuning in on honkbalsoftball.tv and also on the WBSC website, because this series is broadcast live internationally on the website of the World Baseball and Softball Federation. So yeah, welcome everybody. If you're watching from anywhere outside the Netherlands, and people from the Netherlands of course, welkom. Heel fijn dat jullie allemaal kijken. We will indeed be part of Game 1 here, Jason. Holland Series Game 1. A beautiful matchup, historical matchup in the Netherlands, I think.
Absolutely. We haven't seen this matchup for quite a while. It's been 7 years since we have seen the Curaçao Neptunus play HCAW in the Holland Series.
17.
17 years.
17 years.
17 years. My bad. In between, it was mainly L&D Amsterdam Pirates who was facing Curaçao Neptunus. Now it's HCAW with a very strong team, very strong lineup. They have had a fantastic season, a huge win streak at the beginning of the season, and they made it all the way by beating L&D Amsterdam Pirates in the playoffs all the way to the Holland Series 2022.
I think HCAW started the season like 14-0 or something. They could not be beaten until very late on in the season.
Yeah, the final 2 series were against Curaçao Neptunus and Amsterdam, and that's the first series where they actually lost some points. So that was a win streak of, I think, 19 in total. Insane, actually. An absolute record for the Dutch baseball competition. And we have seen, meanwhile, the lineup, the guys from Curaçao Neptunus entering the field. And looking to my producer on my right, who is leaving right now, so we won't be able to show you right now the lineup for Curaçao Neptunus, but I'll
you have it.
walk you through it like this. Number 1 on the list is on the betting list is third baseman Stijn van der Meer. Number 2 is left fielder Giandido Tromp. Shortstop is John Polonius. Right fielder is Roger Bernardina. The DH designated hitter Junior Martina. Second baseman is Dwayne Camp. Center fielder is Christian Diaz. catcher is Dashenko Ricardo, and first baseman is Shedion Yamanika. Starting pitcher for Curaçao Neptunus, Juan Carlos Sulbaran, the ace of Curaçao Neptunus. First up for HCAW from Bussen, the first batter of this Holland Series 2022 is Brentley Martina. And he swings on the first pitch, pops it high up for the catch of first baseman. That's Shedion Yamanika. And that's the first out of Holland Series of this year, Brentley Martina.
And we are underway here in Rotterdam, and we were afraid for a while that it was going to be terrible weather tonight, but actually it's turned around. It's beautiful. It's nice. It's not too chilly. I remember last year when we did the Holland Series, it was cold as balls. And in 2020, we only did one game before the series was postponed due to COVID. And it was rainy and wet and cold that night too. So it's nice to actually have Holland Series back in September again, where the weather allows us to enjoy a beautiful baseball game as Sulbaran fires and delivers a strike to the number 2 hitter in the lineup for HCAW, Victor Dreyer, one of the more dangerous hitters in the Bussum lineup of HCAW, and he swings and misses through that pitch.
Victor Dreyer, notorious for his doubles that he can hit.
He had 6 this season, in case you wanted to know. This regular season, obviously all stats that I'm giving you are regular season stats. Hit 279 on the year as he pops that one foul and over the backstop.
On the parking lot, hopefully there's not a lot of cars parked there.
No, we're parked on the other side, so we're safe.
Smart move. Victor Dreyer, he's a contact hitter with quite a lot of force. Very smart run around the bases as well. A lot of experience in the Hoofdklasse. And strikes out there looking. Juan Carlos Sulbaran strikes out Victor Dreyer.
Victor Dreyer was super important for HCAW in the previous round in the playoffs against Amsterdam. He went 3 for 4 in the final game, the game that clinched a spot in the Holland Series for HCAW. He was the most important player in the game, 3 for 4, scored 2 runs, hit another double, like you said, hits a lot of doubles. We also hit a home run in that game. So Dreyer, an important cog in the machine that is HCAW Bussum, and they've been a machine this year. They've been under first-year manager Danny Romley, former Kingdom of the Netherlands outfielder, veteran baseball player for a long time in the Dutch league with various Dutch teams. He's the rookie manager for HCAW. Did a great job today, this season, not just today. Today we have to wait and see.
Oh yeah. No, funny story. He started off his professional baseball career in Hoofdklasse in the Netherlands as a rookie at the HCAW. While there is the third out of this game, it's Giandro Toul. He's the third out, and that's the first 1-2-3 inning. Right off the bat, great job by Juan Carlos Sulbaran. Speaking of Danny Romley, his rookie season as a player, he also made it to the Holland Series, and he won it in 1996. Now it's his rookie season as a coach again for HCAW, and again he makes the Holland Series. Will history repeat itself? Will he also clutch it and win it? And a lot will depend on the pitching for HCAW. The ace, absolute ace. Although they have a very strong pitching, so absolute ace is maybe a little bit too much said, but he has been absolutely fantastic. It's Lars Huijer on the mound, starting pitcher for HCAW. And in the lineup is the number 1 batter is second baseman Brentley Martina. We already saw him. We also saw right fielder Victor Dreyer. We also saw center fielder Giandro Toul. The DH designated hitter is Kevin Dirksen. The first baseman is Quintin de Cuba. The left fielder is Jules Kramer. Third base is possessed by Max Dreyer. Shortstop is Bob van der Meer. And the catcher is Julian Goins, and he's going to receive the balls from the starting pitcher Lars Huijer.
Lars Huijer went 10-1 this season for HCAW, 10-1 with a 0.68 ERA in 18 appearances, 16 starts. Had a save as well this season. The best part maybe is that he pitched 4 complete games, which wasn't even the team high, because Dennis Burgersdijk on HCAW pitched 5 complete games. Huijer had 2 shutouts this year, as did Burgersdijk. Huijer had Burgersdijk beat in innings, so 120 innings this year, only 60 hits given up, 25 walks, and 123 strikeouts for Huijer, so more than a strikeout per inning for the starting pitcher for HCAW, who is looking into his catcher and staring down the barrel of Stijn van der Meer's bat. Stijn van der Meer, who is the usual leadoff hitter for Curaçao Neptunus. It's been around the block. It's been around for a while.
Oh, absolutely. Very experienced player. The vacuum cleaner at third base.
The vacuum cleaner, that is right.
Playing with always with number 18. Very good contact hitter.
Hit 328 this year, by the way, if you wanted to know.
Real good. That's real good. 328. Everything above 300 on average is considered good.
9 extra base hits for Van der Meer this year. No home runs. 6 doubles, 3 triples, and still an 825 OPS. So there's definitely some extra base power in that bat. Van der Meer also stole 4 bags this year, and he strikes out here. Excellent pitch by Huijer, who was lights out in the playoffs against Amsterdam a few weeks ago. Pitched twice in this series, pitched 19 innings. He had a 10-inning complete game and a 9-inning complete game. Only gave up 9 hits in those 19 innings, won both games. Incredible performance.
That's
incredible
insane,
performance.
Against Amsterdam.
Yeah, which
One
is
of
not
the
a bad team.
strongest
Yeah,
teams.
not a bad team at all.
That's amazing. He is in such good form. We already saw it in fantastic performances at the Honkbalweek as well. The baseball week.
Yeah, he won the Best Pitcher award at Honkbal Week, so for the tournament. Yeah, he's having an insane stretch. The last time Huijer gave up more than 1 run was, holy moly, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 starts ago.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's absolutely insane.
Yep, it's been 1 or 0 runs ever since. Or earned runs, that is.
He's now facing left fielder Giandido Tromp, a right-handed batter.
Played left field at the Honkbal Week for Team Kingdom of the Netherlands, did Giandido Tromp. So Huijer and Tromp know each other well. It's the changeup and the slider that have been Huijer's bread and butter for the last couple of weeks. Just excellent changeups as Tromp grounds that to third. Oh, there's a little bobble at third base, but the throw is... Oh, I was going to say, but the throw is in time. Apparently I'm wrong. Apparently I am wrong. So we have a runner on.
Umpires, we haven't named them yet.
No, please
the
do.
plate umpire is Olaf Steiger. At first base, we saw him just in action, was John Beltman. Second base, Nick Elshoff. And at third base, Jeffrey Bensnyder. So we have the first runner on base, Giandido Tromp.
All umpires except for Olaf Steiger were part of the Honkbal Week umpire rotation as well. Veldman, Elshoff, and Bensnyder rotated during Honkbal Week a couple weeks ago, which is probably where most of our viewers who are not from the Netherlands remember us from. We had a lot of people sign up for honkbalsoftball.tv from all over the world during Honkbal Week, which we really appreciate. Hope you're tuning in again to watch some Dutch baseball.
Oh yeah, please
Why
do.
not?
So for everyone who's writing among us, it was an infield hit.
There you go. It's a good pitch by Huijer, fastball on the inside for a strike. It was a strike. The scoreboard says ball, but I do believe Olaf Steiger called it a strike. Huijer takes a long look in, takes his time, winds and fires. That's an excellent pitch. Two-seamer breaks away inside to the right-handed batter. That's John Polonius, by the way.
Shortstop.
For Team Kingdom of the Netherlands as well. Very good player.
Yeah, it looked like he struggled a little bit with, especially with his batting this season. He has been outstanding in the past couple of seasons, constantly topping the lists of any batting stat almost.
towards me that I should look up his batting stats, Chase.
Well, this season he has been a little bit less on fire, I would say. Not as much as you expect from a fantastic batter that he is. And something you also saw at the baseball week as well. His bat just wasn't swinging as much as he wanted to be.
For what it's worth, he was second on the team in batting for qualified hitters and led the team in home runs with 4. Hit .333 with an .861 OPS this season.
I revoke everything that I just said. That's not bad at all.
15 extra base hits, yeah. 89 total bases, also led the team for Curaçao Neptunus. But you were right, that Hongball week he was not doing very well, but he is back home in his home stadium and immediately bangs one into the left field corner for a single.
Yeah, no way that Max Dreyer was able to catch that one.
No. He made a valiant effort.
Definitely. Did everything in his power, but this was a very well hit ball.
So the home team is cooking here in the first against the aforementioned ace, Lars Heijer, who was also the ace for Team Kingdom of the Netherlands during Hongball week and has been the ace for HCAW for the entire season, basically. Just an absolutely phenomenal season for him. And I think he stands a good chance to win the Best Pitcher Award for the Hoofdklasse season 2022. As that ball is lined into right field by Bernardina, and that's going to score a first run of the ball game as Polonius gets hung up, is safe at third base. Excellent diving effort by Polonius getting around Max Dreyer over at third base. He looked completely hung out to dry, but he made it through. And it is 1-0 for Curaçao Neptunus.
Spectacular evasion by Roger Bernardina, sorry, but John Polonius there on third base. Jumping around Max Dreyer, who seemed to struggle controlling the ball for a second, but he did have it in his glove. He went for the tag, but he just managed to jump around it. Very athletic player, obviously. And he made it to third base. Jan-Dieter Tromp scored run number 1 of this Holland Series, getting Curaçao Neptunus ahead.
Did I say that Polonius was second on the team in hitting for qualified hitters for Neptunus? Roger Bernardina, the guy who drove in the first run, was the team leader. He's over at first base now as this ball is skied into the air by Junior Martina, and that will score Polonius from third, and it is 2-0 for Curaçao Neptunus as the sacrifice fly by Junior Martina to right field puts the team from Rotterdam up by a pair. And that brings up Dwayne Kemp, he of the infamous Thursday night Team Kingdom versus Japan. Unbelievable double that ended up being the decider, or at least putting the Kingdom of the Netherlands back in the game that they eventually won on their way to a tournament win for Hongball week a couple of weeks ago.
Runner on first, 2 outs. And there is the first pitch.
Yeah.
And and Lars Heijer delivers it to first base. And that's the third out, but Lars Heijer won't be happy with those 2 runs that he got scored against. Especially not since it were 3 base hits in a row.
Yeah, 2 earned runs. I was just talking about how he hadn't given up more than 1 earned run for 14 starts, and here we are.
Yep.
2 earned runs on in his checking book for the first inning. So it's back to work for Juan Carlos Sulbaran. Pitched for Amsterdam for a while and is now, since the start of the season, moved to Rotterdam.
Vliegen al jaren naar de mooiste bestemmingen. We zorgen voor het lekkerste eten, koelende zwembaden, de vetste glijbanen, de beste
Sulbaran had a great season this season for Curaçao Neptunus. Had a couple of clunkers. Like he started out his season with not the greatest of starts. Gave up 4 earned runs in his season opener. Then reeled off a stretch of about 7 or 8 excellent games before running into the buzzsaw that was back-to-back starts against Amsterdam and HCAW, where he gave up a combined 8 earned runs halfway through the season. against Neptunus, against Amsterdam, gave up another couple of runs in relief, but he's been excellent ever since.
And he will be facing Kevin Dirksen. He will be the lead-off hitter in the second inning for HCAW. He's the designated hitter, playing as always with number 17 on his back, a right-handed batter. Good batter, has been really on it this season again. Also very experienced player in the Hoofdklasse. Now looking for strike one. Strike ball. Nice one on the outside.
It's fun for me, I think, to see, I think it's fun for everyone, but it's fun to see HCAW back in the Holland Series. Because when I started following Hoofdklasse baseball in the Netherlands, HCAW was the absolute elite. It was Curaçao, Neptunus, HCAW were the two teams that people talked about here in the league. And then, like you told us before, it's been 17 years since they squared off in Holland Series last, as Kevin Dirksen fires one into right field for a single. So it kind of feels like, as much as, you know, it's fun to see teams like Amsterdam in the Holland Series, it's fun to see this historical matchup. HCAW Bussum, historic franchise in the Netherlands, back squaring off against their old rivals from Rotterdam. Feels like at least something on this earth makes sense.
We got a runner on first. It's the lead-off hitter, Kevin Dirksen, with the lead-off base hit. Now up is first baseman Quintin de Cuba. And he swings for the first ball. Rolls up to Juan Carlos Subran, who makes out at first base. And Kevin Dirksen moves up to second base.
That's been the problem with Quintin de Cuba this year. I've watched a lot of his games, his at-bats. He only hit .230 this season with a mere .709 OPS, and that's for, yeah, he's upset too. He kicks some dirt on his way back to the dugout. That's been his season. He's been very inconsistent, up and down, had some very crucial and important hits for HCAW, but has been it's been a roller coaster season for the slugger Quintin de Cuba from HCAW Bussum. He did lead the team, or tied for the team lead in home runs, but it was just a pair, 2 home runs this season. HCAW not a home run hitting team.
No, a lot of contact. A very smart baseball is what they play, especially given the fact that they made it to the Holland Series. But also, well, we see another
what a play by Polonius.
Yep, it was another one on the first pitch, and Jules Kramer actually hit the base hit over there, despite the efforts of John Polonius. Tried to grab it and just smack it to first base, but the ball was on the way for too long, and it also moves up Kevin Dirksen to third base. Runners on first and third now. See what tactical play Danny Rondi comes up with.
Yeah, Jules Kramer, who just hit the infield single, is one of my favorite players this season. Had I would almost call it a breakout season this year. Has been excellent all around. Also earned his first call up to the Dutch Kingdom team for Honkbal Week. Made his international debut. Excellent season. Hit .304 this season. Not a lot of power, but Kramer comes up with clutch hits whenever he needs them. He was crucial in the series against Amsterdam, as he almost gets picked up. He does get picked up. Me and the first base umpire, John Beltman, are not in sync today, because I keep making decisions before he calls them.
Yeah, and now there's some complaint as well at John Beltman's address.
Has to be said, Kramer was slow to get back to first base, but from over here it looked like he was quite safe. But, you know, a little bit of a chatting now. Danny Rombly
fast out of his dugout.
Yeah, he's actually coaching third base, as he always is, so he was fast out of the third base box. It's interesting to see him do that, actually. I noticed that during in the series against Amsterdam as well. The series I was talking about when Kramer got picked off, because Kramer was super important, had the clutch hits in the clincher as well. Or in game 2, actually, not the clincher. In game 2, he was the one who did some interesting stuff from the batter's box. But I noticed that Danny Rombly coaches or manages from the third base coaching box. So no third base coach. It's the manager doing all the work. Be interested to hear from him why he does that. Maybe he likes to be close to the action. Suwaran fires a ball to Max Dreyer. We're back at the top of the lineup.
No,
Not yet. No, so that's Victor Dreyer.
Yeah.
I'm confusing all my Dryers.
Nee.
There's a lot of Dryers.
It's okay. They're nephews actually, so it's understandable. And that's a strike 1 for Max Dreyer, making it a 1-1 count. 2 out and run around third.
Dreyer wanted home plate umpire Olaf Steiger to check his swing with his first base colleague John Beltman, but Steiger decided he'd seen enough to call it a strike, and that's you can't even call that a foul ball because it wasn't really a swing. It was like a get out of my way. It hits the bat, and it actually broke the bat. Yeah. Dreyer needs some new lumber.
Yep, it broke right. He got it right at the thinner spot of the bat, and even though it was more like a check swing, just hit the bat at the bat spot. So he has to come up with a new bat. There he is already. Of course, the team brings multiple bats. Of course, you have the favorite one, but
Max Dreyer, one of 7 players who homered this season for HCAW. He hit 1. Nathan Berkel and Quinten de Cuba tied for the team lead with 2 home runs. Dirksen, Victor Dreyer, Linoy Cruz, and Julian Goins were the other home run hitters for HCAW this season, in case you wanted to know. But it's exactly like you said, Jason. You've seen a lot of HCAW this year too, because you did a lot of voiceovers for HCAW. This is a contact-oriented team, quick, fast base running.
absolutely smart base running
Smart
as
base
well.
running, yeah.
And constantly putting pressure on the opponents as well by making contact, by running real smart over the bases, and scoring points in the process. But mainly the fact that they put a lot of pressure on the defense of the opponents. Combine that with some excellent pitching by Lars Heijer, Dennis Burgerstijk, and usually the third one is usually Jim Ploeger.
Who was phenomenal against Amsterdam in the last round.
Yep.
Pitched a 10-inning complete game as well. As Dreyer is called out on a check swing. And that ends the inning. So Solberon pitches into trouble, but also pitches out of trouble again. Aided by a pickoff call at first base. Still 2-0 here. Curaçao Neptunus in the lead in Game 1 of the Holland Series. Yes, it's that time of year again. We're playing for all the marbles here in the Netherlands in the Hoofdklasse baseball. HCAW from Bussum is facing Curaçao Neptunus. You're watching the game with me, Jasper Roos. I'm sitting here in the booth with Jason Houtkamp. And might be good to mention once again that we're broadcasting in English because of the fact that this entire series is broadcast on the website of the WBSC, the International Basic Softball Federation. So welcome to all our foreign viewers who are interested in Dutch baseball or are just so in love with the game that they're watching every single baseball game they can get their hands on. And with a slow day in Major League Baseball today, with only like 2 or 3 games, it's a beautiful day to check in with us.
Yeah.
As Jason has a special visitor here in the booth, so he has to say hi. Jason's dad in attendance, legendary radio broadcaster Andy Houtkamp here in the Netherlands. And we're heading back to the game with Heijer still pitching for HCAW. And Chris Diaz is about to make his way to the plate for his at-bat, his first at-bat of the Holland Series. Diaz, a Curaçao Neptunus, a lifer. Had a short break in his career a couple years ago due to some unfortunate circumstances and has now returned with a vengeance. I think he made his comeback. Was it last year? Or the year before?
If I recall correctly, it was last year.
Yeah, he's been very good again. Very steady, very reliable, a very clutch hitter. Comes through in the most important moments for his team. As he yoinks that one foul for strike 2.
2 foul balls, a little bit of a gift for the audience here. It's nicely filled up. Not completely full, of course.
That's a very nice pitch by Heijer, but just a bit outside, as Bob Uecker would say. Harry Doyle from Major League. Taking a quick peek at Chris Diaz's stats for the season. Hit 290. 4 triples, led the team Curaçao Neptunus in triples. And I've done a lot of Neptunus games, voiceover-wise this season, as Diaz strikes out on an excellent pitch by Higher. And it seemed every week there was a new triple for Diaz, because he had a bunch of them. Followed only by Stijn van der Meer with 3, and then there's a couple of guys with 1, and that's it. So it's a specialism. It's definitely his specialty, hitting triples. And Deshenko Ricardo, the catcher for Curaçao Neptunus, now steps in. Slugger, also for Team Kingdom of the Netherlands. And it's a lot of first pitch hacking. He too goes after the first pitch and bounces off of Higher's glove to his shortstop, who throws out the veteran catcher. It's a...
Speaking of putting pressure on the defense, and especially now on the pitcher, swinging at that first ball just doesn't give Lars Haier the chance to get into a rally, to feel it out, to get ahead in the count. No, just swing at the first ball, make contact, and go right at it. I think it's a pretty good and aggressive strategy right off the bat, and that might be decisive actually right at the beginning of this matchup, because this first game is going to be a very important one.
Yes, first baseman Shejin Yamanika, also first pitch hunting, but he clubs this into left field and it will roll all the way to the wall. And that's a stand-up double for Shejin Yamanika. And Neptunus in business once more. Their 4th base hit off of Haier in the first inning plus. Yeah, the first pitch hunting thing seems to be a theme for both teams, because the HCAW also hunting first pitch, or at least not afraid to attack Juan Carlos Sulbaran, and Curaçao Neptunus doing the exact same thing to Haier, because they know, as do you, because you've seen a lot of Haier this season as well, if you fall behind to a pitcher like Haier, there will be a change-up, low and away, or a slider inside, as Yamanika almost gets picked off. The HCAW players thought they had him, but second base umpire Nick Elshoff disagreed. Yeah, if you fall behind to Haier, yeah, you've seen it. It's probably game over for you.
Exactly, or even get into a rally, into like a real matchup while you're at bat. He can get into your head, he can reach you. You can even get ahead in the count, and he can come back. He has that power, so what you don't want is that battle.
Would you say he's got the power?
He's got the power.
He's got the power.
There's the 80s.
90s.
Okay, that's nice.
Oh, yeah, I think it's the early 90s, right? Snap.
Yeah,
Snap.
Probably.
I got the power.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, we can't be a broadcast without squeezing in some 80s or 90s music.
Exactly.
Stijn van der Meer, the top of the lineup for Curaçao Neptunus, is up to bat, the lefty, with a chance to drive in the 3rd Curaçao Neptunus run of the game. He chops it foul in front of his feet.
Making the count 1 and 2 with 2 out.
Oh, I noticed we have a chat. There's people talking to us in the chat.
Nice.
Welcome,
Yeah,
everyone.
please.
I see people checking in from Curaçao, watching the game. Welcome.
Yeah, please let us know where you're from, if you have any questions, just a shout out to anyone, let us know. We'd love to engage with all our audience. So more than welcome to.
Here's Kansas City Royals farmhand Darnell Collins is in the chat as well. Hey, Darnell, how are you doing? Product from the Curaçao Neptunus Youth Academy.
Pasadena, Los Angeles. Welcome to the stream. Fantastic to have you with us.
Van der Meer is in full defense mode, because this is what we were talking about. Someone is checking in from Pasadena, LA. Lights of Dom. Welcome, y'all. Israel. I see someone checking in from Israel. All over the world. This is why we're doing this broadcast in English for people all over the world watching this game here today. Thanks for tuning in. Stijn van der Meer has a 1-2 count here against Haier. Haier looking to put the lefty away and keep it a 2-0 lead for Neptunus. So that pitch is outside, yeah. So twos across the board. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-0 Curaçao Neptunus in the second inning.
Nice. Runner on second. And there's the swing. But he grounds out to the second base. And that's Stijn van der Meer as the third out. And that is a very important one for HCAW. They couldn't afford to gain any more, to get any more runs against. So well done to the defense by putting the 3 outs on the board.
HCAW has an excellent traveling fan base, by the way. I can tell you that. They're here at the stadium too, over at the HCAW dugout side. It's the same group of, a large group of people that I sat right next to a couple weeks ago when I was visiting the previous round between LMD Amsterdam and HCAW in Amsterdam, where a vocal bunch from Bussum was definitely one of the reasons I think that HCAW played such a great series. I want to shout out the hats for HCAW. I think the logo and the blue caps with the really cool looking caps. I'm not a fan of the uniforms, personally.
No, I can imagine. Yeah, it's out there.
It's a little too modern.
Yeah,
a little too collegey, like it has a high school vibe. I like the classic pinstripe look that Curaçao Neptunus is going with and has been going with for as long as I can remember.
True.
They're like the New York Yankees of the Hoofdklasse. The same uniform year in, year out.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Classy. As we say hello to Jerusalem, Rotterdam, and Alkmaar. Hello, everyone.
Also an interesting matchup this series is the one between Stijn van der Meer and Bob van der Meer.
That's right.
Stijn van der Meer playing for Curaçao Neptunus. We just saw him being the third out. And right now up is Bob van der Meer, but for HCAW.
Bob digs in from the right side, right-handed hitter, whereas Stijn obviously is a left-handed hitter.
Bob van der Meer is the shortstop. And let's do ball 2. Right there. Ball 1. Strike 1. Ball 1, strike 1.
Milan van der Breggen, my co-announcer for Baseball Week, is also checking in from Oakland City, Indiana, back in college. Milan, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. As Juan Carlos Sulbaron looks in, it's a 1-1 count to Bob van der Meer, who pops it up high into the air above Dashenko Ricardo, and the veteran catcher tracks it down and in front of the fence, in front of the netting, makes the catch. So Bob van der Meer retired for out number 1 here in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, you saw the easiness and the calmness with Dashenko Ricardo getting under that ball, where a lot of catchers seem to struggle a little bit with those high balls that they have to catch from behind them, because they turn around and then it comes from behind them. They have a hard time exactly tracking the ball, getting it into the position where they want it to be, and then make the catch. Not for Dashenko Ricardo. He is so experienced as the catcher.
As a former catcher, I can confirm it's not my. It wasn't my favorite thing to do. Catch those sky-high pop-ups. I hated it.
What's so hard about it?
The ball, it doesn't go straight up and come straight down. It looks like it's like almost like there's like this curve in it. So you always have a tendency to overrun it. You feel like, okay, so I'm right under it now, and then suddenly it drops like 3 meters behind you because it comes back with a curve almost, like it seems. Yeah. It's incredibly difficult. I hated it. I had a coach who was really good at hitting those sky-high pop-ups during infield practice. Like the fungo stuff, right? That's a nice pitch by Sulbaron, just a little bit high. Actually, that's Leandro Tromp's dad, who used to hit my pop-ups. He was my coach when I was a kid, and I hated catching those. And he knew it, so he always told me, like, you have to catch at least 5 before you can move on.
Very good.
That's the only way to learn. Just do it a million times. As Dashenko Ricardo showed us, if you do it enough, you can do it anytime. As Julian Goins here grounds it to Stijn van der Meer, who has an excellent, once again, it's vacuum cleaner Stijn van der Meer. He makes a great play, but he does throw the ball by his first baseman. And since that baseball rolls under the fence and out of play, Goins will receive an extra base from first base umpire John Beltman. I think we got some Curaçao Neptunus coaching coming to check out of the dugout to see if that ball actually went under the fence, and it did.
Yeah, well, we got confirmation as well that it was not an infield hit. It was actually an error. Score is an error by Stijn van der Meer. So we're looking at 1 out and a run around second base.
As we see you in the chat saying that the audio is a little bit behind the video feed, we are aware, we're working on it.
Well, we give a shout out to Kromeny. Welcome in the chat, Kromeny. Well, we're looking at Brentley Martina. 1 out, run around second.
It's a very nice block there by Dashenko Ricardo, keeping that difficult pitch by Sulbaran in front of him, making sure that the runner cannot advance a base.
Well, you can be sure that Dashenko Ricardo will use every trick in the book, because it's probably a book that he wrote himself about catching. He has seen everything. He has done everything.
So for those of you at home interested in why we have audio issues, it's because we have different microphones and cameras across the stadium who all have a different audio input. So we're trying to sync all these different audio files up to give you the closest possible audio experience, but there might be either a slight delay or it might be slightly ahead. Sulbaran takes a long look in here. Does not want to give Brentley Martina anything to hit.
Yeah, Sulbaran definitely changing pace of the game right now. Taking a longer time for his pitches. Slowing it down. Also a mental game, of course, not only for between him and Brentley Martina, the batter, but also for the rest of the team while he actually throws it in the dirt. Oh, a wild pitch. A wild pitch indeed. Took maybe a little bit too long on this one. He overthought it maybe, at least underthrew it. And that made Julian Goins advance a base. He's now at third base, closer and closer to home plate. And now a base hit will do for Brentley Martina to score that first run of the game.
You can tell,
HCAW.
yeah, you can tell that Sulbaran does not want to give up a run here because he has slowed his pace down to an almost snail-like tempo. Now he wants to, yeah, he says this is not my favorite baseball. Give me a new one. So he really does not want to give Brentley Martina a chance to get into a rhythm, and he really just wants to make sure that he doesn't make any mistakes in his pitches, because he really wants to keep that big fat 0 under runs for HCAW. We have people checking in from Assen Delft as well. Hello. Groetjes terug. on Randy and the family. And Soberan ends up walking Brentley Martina here. So that puts runners on the corners for Victor Dreyer, the aforementioned Victor Dreyer, who played a crucial part in the final clincher for HCAW against L&D Amsterdam, as I mentioned before. And he has a chance here to put HCAW on the board and cut the lead in half. Martina is also a threat to run at any time because he's a very speedy runner at first. And Dreyer goes first pitch hunting, and that will go into center field where it is caught. And now we're going to take a look, and that ball will be plenty deep enough to indeed cut that lead in half. It's 2-1 as HCAW puts up a run on a sacrifice fly. And that brings up Leandro Tromp, the lefty hitting outfielder for HCAW. Usually hits atop the lineup, at least the games that I saw. Apparently he's been dropped a couple of spots this time around.
Yeah, quite an interesting road that Julian Goins walked to home plate to score that run. First he got on base by an error. He moved to second base because of the fact that the ball left the field, left the whole pitch at all. So there was an extra base for him. Then he went to third base on a wild pitch. And he scored because of the sacrifice fly that we just saw. Quite an interesting run, but you know, it counts.
No, it's exactly like you were saying before in the game. It's HCAW's way of manufacturing runs. They find a way to put runs on the board, even if it's not through the most conventional methods. Putting pressure on the defense, putting pressure on Stijn van der Meer to have him throw that ball away as Brentley Martina takes off for second base. And once again, putting pressure on the defense makes Dashenko Ricardo drop the baseball. So Martina steals second base without a throw. And I mean, it's exactly like you were saying before. They're putting the pressure on the defense. They're making them make mistakes. And then when you finally have a runner in scoring position or a runner at third base, you drive him in with a sacrifice fly. Do not get too greedy. Just make sure you get that run across the home plate. That's exactly what HCAW is doing. And it's what they've been doing all year long. Fundamental baseball.
Yep, absolutely. 100% right. Now we have another very speedy runner in scoring position. Might be a good chance actually for Leandro Tromp if he hits it well to actually level the playing field by scoring that second run. Brentley Martina can score from anywhere on the pitch almost. But especially now that he's in scoring position, a nice hit will do.
Yeah, I've decided, Jason, I'm going to buy one of those HCAW hats. I think they look classy as hell.
Nice. Well, I encourage everyone to do so.
I visited one of the games of the last round between HCAW, the series HCAW L&D Amsterdam with Sean Houston, who also, like you did with me, announced some baseball games from Hungary.
And there is that nice base hit for Leandro Tromp, and Brentley Martina speeds to the home plate and he equals the game. There it is, 2-2. And we're all square once again.
Speed kills. Brentley Martina plenty fast enough to score that run. And we are all tied at 2. Yeah, I took Sean to his first Hoofdklasse baseball game. Figured that'd be fun.
Nice.
And
nice.
he fell in love with HCAW.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was even though he lives in Amsterdam, so L&D would have been the natural choice. But he just loved the way they played baseball, and it's what we've been talking about.
Exactly.
He liked their style. He liked their manager, Danny Romley. He liked the decisions he made, the buttons he pushed to make things happen in that series.
That's a big compliment for Danny Romley. It's something that
we
have been enjoying all season again already, but it's very nice that if you have new eyes looking to it, that they see the same thing going on at the team and create some magic.
Yeah, and Sean, for those of you who don't know, like I said, he broadcast some baseball games with me during Honkbal Week as well, but he's a former minor league baseball TV announcer, worked for years in the American minor leagues, Charleston River Dogs amongst others. So he's seen a lot of baseball, and he was very impressed with the level of play for both teams, Amsterdam and Bussum, but he especially liked the brand of baseball HCAW was playing in that game. As Kevin Dirksen looks at strike 2. Nice pitch there by Sulbaron, who has given up 2 runs here in the top of the 3rd. We're all tied at 2. You're watching HCAW Bussen against Curaçao Neptunus in Rotterdam in het Familiestadion. Family Stadium of Curaçao Neptunus in Rotterdam.
Top of the 3rd indeed, 2 out. A runner on first. Kevin Dirksen already hit a nice base hit. It was a leadoff single into right field. Could do right now as well to advance Leandro Tromp to second base. Kevin Dirksen, experienced hitter. Not the speediest of all people, but definitely clutch when it comes to base hits, to contact, also to like big high fly balls. But now he goes for a grounder to shortstop, and a fielder's choice for Kevin Dirksen at first base, because the 3rd out is made on the second basis. Leandro Tromp, and that makes the score after 2.5 innings. 2-2.
Very nice play right there by John Polonius. Very smooth. He's smooth.
Smooth like silk.
Smooth operator.
Yeah. Is that the 80s again? I think so, right?
Smooth. Sade, yeah. Yeah, it was 80s, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, we got a fan here wearing the San Diego City Connect sweater.
Well, that's
bright pink.
That stands out.
Speaking of 80s, it looks very 80s. It looks like almost Miami Vice-y. I love it.
Let's check in on our chat for a second. We were talking about the delay of the sound. I hope it's already a little bit better. I'll keep my hands off any of the cords and of the... Don't worry, Norbert. We'll be fine. Good to see you in the chat as well. The same for Alfred Kop, one of the house photographers for HCAW. Great to have you in the chat as well. And we saw Sjors van Gol. He said, go Neptunus.
Lars Heijer back to work here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. After a rough first inning, Heijer has settled in a little in the way we know he can, the way we know he will. So, Jason, we've been doing this, the broadcasting and the voiceovers for the recaps for the Hoofdklasse for a couple of seasons now.
Yeah.
I noticed this season, I don't think we've seen this many complete games like we have this. It's like almost every week someone pitches a complete game.
Yeah, yeah,
So
you're right.
the pitching, the starting pitching in the Hoofdklasse has been, well, highly impressive. And Heijer, one of those guys who pitched multiple complete games this season.
Yeah, for Heijer, it's also, if you have a high quality pitcher, that also means that they need less balls during the game that they need to throw. They get in less precarious situations in terms of getting into long rallies. They just finish it off real quick. They have a lot of 1, 2, 3 innings, and they make good use of their defense as well.
That pitch is high and inside for ball 4 to Leandro Tromp, who takes first base. And that brings John Polonius to the plate. Curaçao Neptunus without Misha Harksen today, who was part of the team throughout the season. Harksen injured. He's in the stadium though. I've seen him, spoken with him real quick. Feeling very good, artificially, if you know what I mean. Yeah, he's on some painkillers.
Yeah, figured. Yeah, it's not particularly a sport that is very good for your joints, mainly. Shoulder, for example. Especially if you're a pitcher.
Yeah, and
Shoulder, elbow.
traffic accidents are also not good for your body.
And that too. Nope.
As that is a strike by Heijer. Nice pitch, low and away. But it did catch like a little bit of the strike zone. Got away from HCAW's catcher just for a second, but called a strike anyway. And John Polonius Yeah, there's. Oh, hold on. There's some stuff going on. There was time.
Yeah,
time was called. Yeah, I think the
So-
catcher for HCAW
ben er klaar mee, jongens.
Ja, het was hè. Hey,
Nice.
we're back. Oh, perfect timing. As we were joking around about that we might as well go grab a beer, the sound comes back. Jeroen, you're a legend. Thank you for fixing it. Sorry, everyone. We were working on the synchronization issue that we were talking about earlier, the fact that we couldn't really quite line up the audio with the video footage. And in the process of trying to fix that, we broke something else. That's usually how it goes. But we're back. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching the game with us. You're, in case you're checking in later, you're in Rotterdam with us. You're watching Curaçao and Neptunus play HCAW from Bussum. Game 1 of the Holland Series, which is a best-of-7 series here in the Netherlands to decide the national champion in baseball for the Netherlands. It's 2-2 here. We're in the top of the 4th. HCAW is currently on offense. And Juan Carlos Sulbaran still on the mound for Curaçao and Neptunus. And Juan Carlos Sulbaran taking his time here, making sure that the runner at first base, who by the way got there with a base on balls, does not move any further. That brings up Jules Kramer, and this is a foul ball down the line, just foul. And that was, yeah, that looked like shades of the previous series against L&D Amsterdam, where Kramer hit a ball similar to that into the corner for an RBI double.
In his first at-bat, Jules Kramer hit a very nice ball to the left field. To the left side, actually. He was picked off after that on the first base. I'm looking to get on the mound for the second time, while Sullivan keeps Quinten de Cuba on first base. He keeps him short, or even maybe trying to pick him off again, as we're talking about it. Full count pitch, and the ball goes up, and into the left field. Should be quite an easy catch, and yes, it indeed is, which means that Jules Kramer is the first out. Quinten de Cuba goes back to first base. And next up is Max Dreyer, third baseman for HCAW, playing as always with number 8 on his back.
Sulbaran working diligently, as they call it. He's currently at 50 pitches, 31 strikes.
Yeah, apart from a couple of sacrifice flies that we have seen, this was actually the first high and deep ball hit by Jules Kramer. First one that the outfielders really had to run for. The high fly balls. It was an easy catch, but it maybe says something about some change of tactics here and there. Being able to switch it up from ground balls to medium balls. Maybe even every now and then a high fly ball.
All right, I thought you were going to say big balls.
Big balls.
Instead of medium balls, big balls.
Yeah.
No. I was letting you finish that sentence
Yeah.
because I do not want to. Nope. Don't want to get into that. Sulbaran lines up and fires. That's high and tight for a ball. We see your comments about the camera angle. Normally we're trying to give you both the strike zone angle with the camera from behind the pitcher, and then we switch really quickly when there's a ball in play to this overview camera that you're looking at right now to give you the best view of the play. But since we're working on all the sound issues, it's really hard to keep track of everything all at once. Is that a movie, Everything All at Once?
Oh, wow.
Is that a new movie now with...
You might be right.
I don't know. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once? I forget, something like that, right? Anyway, so we're trying to give you multiple camera angles during this broadcast, but we only have one producer, and he's working really hard with the audio, so we are doing our very best to give you
the best
possible view. Because we want to make sure that you can see the pitches that Sulbaran throws and maybe even pick up on some of the curves, sliders, and changeups that he throws.
Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Max de Rijer.
That's actually 3-1, and that's called a strike. He thought he had ball 4, did de Rijer, but nope. Full count now. The Cuba was doing a little dancing over at first base, but Sulbaran, undeterred, made the pitch.
Another full count, which means that he needs a lot of balls this inning. Sulbaran.
Medium balls or big balls?
Big balls.
Big balls. And that's ball 4, low and outside, so de Rijer walks, and that moves the Cuba over to second base. And HCAW here in business in the top of the 4th, 1 away here, and Bob van der Meer, but not before we get a mound visit.
Yeah, 2 base on balls for both Quinten de Cuba and Max de Rijer, and only 1 out. So that's definitely time to check in on your pitcher. Okay, how's everything going? How are you feeling? Calm him down, get him back into the zone, because he definitely changed pace in the past, inning and a half. And that might be due to tactics. That might also be a little bit of insecurity. Sulbaran not coming out of this inning very smoothly right now. One is at first and second and 1 out.
There's no activity in the bullpen for Neptunus, so as of right now, this is Sulbaran's inning.
Oh yeah. And then he will have to get past Bob van der Meer, shortstop for HCAW.
Van der Meer went first pitch hunting in his last at-bat. He's 0 for 1 on the day, looking for a better result here against Sulbaran.
He popped it up to the catcher, Untitled Chapter. And that's the first ball go for strike 1.
It's a nice pitch outside. Also a good job by Van der Meer not swinging, because that looks really tempting early in the count, but that would probably have been a weak ground out and a potential double play if you get around that pitch. So 0-1, no balls and a strike here with 1 away in the top of the 4th for Bob van der Meer.
Yeah, Sulbaran stepping off again, taking his time once again.
Yeah, they're not on the same page.
With Dashenko Ricardo. Exactly, I think there might be some communication going on. And now even Dwayne Kemp is checking in on them both. Okay guys, what's going on? Come on, we just talked.
Sulbaran is saying that he can't see the signs because of the lights in his eyes. It looked like he pointed towards the lights or to the sky, that he's struggling seeing Dashenko Ricardo's pitch calls. Maybe in the past you'd see catchers in night games paint their fingernails white or bright yellow to give the pitcher a better view of their fingers in case of, you know, big lights or dark shadows. So maybe someone should go get some nail polish for Dashenko Ricardo.
Yeah, preferably neon yellow.
Yes, like the fluorescent green.
Exactly.
Like you used to have those stars on your ceiling when you were a kid that would like light up at night.
Glow in the dark.
Glow in the dark, yeah, exactly. So maybe someone should get some glow in the dark nail polish.
Yes.
For Dashenko Ricardo, because I do believe that that is what Sulbaran was saying to Olaf Steiger, who came to inquire why there was another meeting on the mound. But order has been restored as that ball is blocked by Dashenko Ricardo. But oh my God! Tough break over at third base. As Quinten de Cuba, who tries to take third, gets gunned down by Dashenko Ricardo. Looked like the tag was above the knee, but what are you gonna do?
Close enough, but a great recovery by Dashenko Ricardo.
Yes.
First, Sulbaran pitching the ball in the dirt. Great stop from Dashenko Ricardo. Got up on his feet and just laser beamed that ball to third base, just in time to catch Quinten de Cuba.
Yeah, no pitch comm here in the Netherlands yet. As you see in the Major League now, a little speaker set built in the cap for the pitcher, and a little notepad, or is it like a bunch of buttons on the catcher's arm or knee. so that he can type in what pitches he wants the pitcher to throw.
Oh, really?
No pitch comm here in the Netherlands yet. No, we still.
Pitch comm?
Yeah, it's called. I'm not kidding. It's called pitch comm. Yeah.
I have no.
Yeah.
Even seen
So
that before.
pitchers have a tiny little device in their cap that basically speaks, like an electronic voice speaks whatever the catcher types into his knee pad. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So even with, let's say your pitcher is from the Dominican Republic and doesn't speak English or whatever, you can program a Spanish-speaking voice. So we're getting to a point where, like back in the day with like GPS in your cars, like celebrities would do a GPS voice. I can't wait for some pitcher to have like Snoop Dogg telling him to throw a curveball. But yeah, no, that's a thing, absolutely. So that would definitely benefit Sulbaran here, who complained about not being able to see Dashenko Ricardo's signs as another walk here, in this case for Bob van der Meer.
Yeah, that's the third walk of this inning.
Once again, runners on first and second after Quinten de Cuba got gunned down trying to take third earlier in the inning. As I just saw Kingdom of the Netherlands manager Evert van het Hoen move around the stadium here. So he too in the building to see the best of the best in the Netherlands in the Dutch league at work.
It's quite interesting though that Sulbaran is struggling with the lights in his home stadium.
Yeah.
You would expect that to happen when you're in an away game in someone else's stadium. But you're not quite used to playing there once or twice a week. But no, it's in his home stadium, so you would think that by now he would be used to the lighting, and if he has some troubles with it, that he would have made sure that it would have already been fixed. So we've taken a small look at the pitch comm that you just explained to us.
Yeah, I'm showing Jason really quickly what it looks like. So you can see the wristband here on the catcher. He types in a code and that corresponds to a pitch, and the pitcher will hear what pitch he needs to throw next.
To be honest, maybe I'm a little bit old school, but I don't know. I don't know about the pitch comm. I don't know.
Apparently, pitchers really like it. And there's also a rule, I think, that you can have multiple fielders are allowed to have one of those little speakers in their head as well.
So they know what.
So they know what the pitcher is about, especially for outfielders who are so far away that they can't see.
Yeah.
And you shade your defense differently based on the pitch that is about to. If the pitcher is about to throw a fastball, you're maybe going to shade a hitter a little further to the opposite field.
Yeah.
Whereas a curveball is more likely to get pulled, so you shade him more as a pull hitter. So yeah, it's being used all over the place now.
Yeah.
It's very, very exciting development in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Interesting.
The more you know.
Exactly. Now we're looking at Julian Goins, who's batting for HCAW. Looking at the 2-1 count. 2 outs, runner on first and second. And there is the smack into the outfield, and there's runs coming in. There is at least one Max Dreyer. He comes across home plate there, and Julian Goins even makes it through the second base, and he's very happy with it. Super excited, and rightfully so. He puts the away team ahead 3-2, and now there's some action in the bullpen, and now there's a runner on third as well. That's Bob van der Meer. A lot of pressure against the defense.
No, you're right. Bob van der Meer, sorry, yeah. Goins was standing over at third base because he was delivering his gear. So
yeah, there you go.
Making his way back to second base now.
A lot of pressure on the defense of Neptunus now, and now they're trailing 3-2. Great hit and RBI by Julian Goins.
Playing through adversity. You have a runner thrown out at third base, but still HCAW able to put a run on the board with an RBI double for Julian Goins, and that brings up Bradley Martina, the leadoff hitter. So important when your number 9 hitter is able to produce a clutch base hit like Goins just did. That's so important because you turn the lineup over now to your best hitters, the top of your lineup, with runners in scoring position still. The rally's still going. It's huge hit by Goins.
Bradley Martina already got on base. He already scored a run. Oh, yeah, well, there's some struggles between pitching and catching now. We've already seen Dashenko Ricardo that he had to make some pretty important and hard saves. And now It's also resulting in a lot of pressure by HCAW's offense. Can Brentley Martina bet some more runs in?
I just want to point out that Brentley Martina is one of the fastest runners in the hoofdklasse. Stole 31 bases this season. It's a threat. It's definitely a skill. And they say speed never slumps. Even if you're in a slump as a hitter, your legs, if you're fast enough, you can still break out of your slump with like an infield hit or a bunt single or something like that. It's a little bit of a lost art, I think, in Major League Baseball, the speedy leadoff hitter.
I agree.
I enjoy one of the Juan Pierres of the world or the Scott Petsetniks of the world, guys who just get on base and then steal 2 bases and score.
Exactly. And it gives so much variety in your gameplay as well.
Yeah.
You can do some bunting games. You can do short games. You can with that speed. There's so many things that you can use to utilize it actually in the field.
Yes, Martina Sky. That's going to go over. Yep, there it is. To the wall it goes for Brentley Martina. 2 RBI double for HCAW's leadoff hitter. And the visitors have broken this game wide open. And there's a celebration going on in front of the dugout for the guest team. They are jumping up and down. This is a huge moment for HCAW. Game 1 in Rotterdam, away from their own home stadium in Bussum, against the ace of the Neptunus staff, Juan Carlos Zulbaran. And Brentley Martina hit that ball so hard that even like the outfielders were playing in, because Martina does not have a lot of power in his bat normally. He's not one of those like guys who hits a lot of home runs or doubles. He's got 8 doubles on the season and a triple. That's about it. 9 extra base hits, but he clobbered that ball way out into left field, went all the way to the wall, scored 2 runs, and that'll be it for Juan Carlos Zulbaran. I believe that is Aaron de Groot. Yes, indeed, Aaron de Groot coming in from the bullpen. So Zulbaran with a tough outing here. Ran into some trouble here in the inning. And he departs after 3.2 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, 4 walks, as you mentioned before. That was a bit of an issue in this inning. 2 strikeouts, 71 pitches, and only 39 strikes. That's not enough.
No, underperforming in this opening game in the Holland Series, where you actually want your ace pitcher to set it off in the right shape right away from the start. Instead, in this last inning, he threw three times base on balls out of the 4 4 walks in total.
Aaron de Groot taking over, one of the top relievers in the Dutch hoofdklasse. One of the top relievers. As a result, obviously, also on Curaçao, Neptunus. As we are being greeted here in the booth by Barry van Driel, longtime pitcher for Curaçao, Neptunus and the Dutch Kingdom team. Good to see him here at the ballpark. Aaron de Groot, by the way, on the season, pitched 50.2 innings. Mostly as a starter, interestingly enough. He started 10 games this season, 1 relief appearance, 3.02 ERA, 45 strikeouts and 26 walks in those 50.2 innings. I was going to say, I was scrolling through the stats. I was like, well, he led the team in hit by pitches. And then I sorted by hit by pitch, and then suddenly Kai Timmermans had 10.
Oh, oops.
So no. But Aaron de Groot second on the team in hit by pitches as he takes a quick look over at second base, where Brentley Martina is still stationed.
How many hit by pitches did Aaron de Groot have?
4. Yes. So a little ways away from the team lead. Good season for de Groot. Pitched mostly out of the bullpen last season and then made the transition to the rotation this year.
The pitch was way outside again. Dashenko Ricardo has been put to work. The catcher he is. With a runner on second, it's Brentley Martina, the speedster.
Yeah,
So
even a short base hit will score a run here.
Exactly,
Right? Yeah.
that's pressure right away, off the bat. There's 2 outs. That's in favor of Aaron de Groot. So he only needs 1. But he has to get out of this inning, and he has to do it fast for Neptunus to reset. This ball goes way up in the sky. High fly ball to center field. Easy catch. 3rd out. And that ends this first half of the 4th inning. 5-2 is the lead for HCAW after this inning.
Zorgen voor het lekkerste eten, de koelende zwembaden, de vetste glijbanen, de beste stroom. En we staan altijd voor je klaar met ons pakketvakantie. Dat doen we al meer dan 20 jaar. En dat blijven we doen. Dus, gerust je vakantie bij Curaçao.
Super bedankt.
Yeah, well, we have a nice ABBA in the background. Let's read a little bit of the chat we're looking at. Welcome everybody in the chat. Thank you for tuning in on this live stream.
If people are wondering where this chat is that we're talking about, that's on YouTube.
YouTube.
So we're on 3 different platforms today. We're on HonkbalSoftball.tv, which we would always recommend because that is the stream that we work the most with. And then there's the WBSC website and YouTube. And if you want to chat with us, YouTube it is.
Absolutely, and Relano Clark is there. We see Tos Specking, welcome, and Vince Van Holy, welcome in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. Great to have you with us. This first game of the Holland Series 2022. We're going to the bottom of the 4th inning, while we're swinging to the walk-up song of Christian Diaz.
Diaz, a Aruban-born baseball player, so the salsa beats were definitely...
And that's probably music to the ears for Let's Dance Raf, who is also in this chat. And we see Fanclub Deutsche Baseball Nationale Mannschaften. Jawohl. Willkommen auch du. Cheers from Germany. And a lot of love and a baseball.
Thank you for checking in. And that is for the people who are tuning in, people who tuned in later. This is why we're broadcasting in English for the first time ever. Holland Series broadcasts are usually in Dutch, but we're doing it in English because we are broadcasting on international platforms to an international audience. So welcome everyone from all over the world. We've seen people from Israel check in, Germany, the United States, and a whole bunch of places more. Thank you so much for checking in and watching some baseball with us here on a beautiful Thursday night in Rotterdam. That's a really great pitch right there by Heyer, as he was behind in the count 3-0, and he needed a strike, and he got it.
3-1 pitch, and that's inside for ball 4. And a walk for Christian Diaz, a walk-off walk. Walk-off walk. How about that?
Did you see that little discussion that Julian Goins, the catcher for HCAW, had with Diaz real quick? Because Goins was holding that baseball as if it was a strike, trying to sell to sell it to the umpire, and Diaz was already taking his batting gloves off and put his bat on. He goes like, "Nah, bruh, that was not a strike."
Nope.
A little.
No, also the home plate umpire, Olaf Steiger, was at no moment considering that it could have been a strike. The ball was on the inside, and ball 4 for Christian Diaz. So we have a runner on first, no one out. And now batting is catcher Dashenko Ricardo. Grounded out in his first at bat. Grounded out to the shortstop, 6-3. And there's a high fly ball to the outfield. Will they run it down? Who's gonna get it? It's gonna.
Yeah, it's caught.
It's caught. That's an amazing.
Jules Kramer.
Catch. Wow.
Jules Kramer. Not a usual left fielder either. That is a phenomenal catch.
Beautiful play. Underrated for sure. You had to run it down big time and then had to catch it overhead on the warning track. I mean, that's one fantastic play. And probably a run saver, I would say, because that ball would have dropped. Christian Diaz was already long gone for third base and maybe even more. Fantastic catch. Wow. Beautiful play.
Jules Kramer, one of my favorite players this season in the Hoofdklasse. He does it all. Timely hitting, plays multiple different positions. Speedy runner as well. Was used at Honkbal Week as a pinch runner several times for Team Kingdom of the Netherlands. You don't see that often, catchers who are used as pinch runners, but Kramer has got some wheels. And he tracked down that baseball too, using his speed, his makeup speed. Got a good jump off the bat and then just ran it down all the way to the warning track. Nice job by Kramer. As Yamanika squares the bunt, pulls it back, and that is not going to be a swing. There's a lot of screaming coming from the Bussen fan section. They are here, they're loud and they're proud. Proud of their team that has made it back to the Holland Series for the first time in 17 years. It's been a while.
It is, and it's about time that it got changed up, I guess. But still, there's the teams that have to do it themselves. And HCAW definitely worked their way through this competition and through the playoffs and absolutely deserved this spot in the Holland Series after a phenomenal season of the new coach.
Let's Dance Raf is asking us who we are supporting. We are not supporting anyone. We are in support of
great baseball. Exactly.
But when it comes to teams we see the most, I think for you it's mostly Hoofddorp Pioneers. Yeah, you see them quite a bit. And I live about a 5-minute bike ride from Pirates, so I do go see Pirates quite a bit. But since we both do voiceovers for all the games during the highlights, the highlights, we see all of the teams quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. We're absolutely not biased at all.
And it's fun to see all those teams. I gotta say, it's been really fun, a fun experience when I was asked a couple years ago with you to do these highlight voiceovers, as that ball is grounded to shortstop, and that will be an infield hit for Shadian Yamanika. You're gonna have to believe me. So what I was saying, so when I was asked 3 years ago, I knew some of the players in the Hoofdklasse and I knew the teams, and I didn't really follow, I checked the scores every now and again. And it's been an absolute blast to see all those teams every week, because we split them up. You always do 2 series, I do 2 series. And we try to mix and match a little bit.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more on that one. It's also been great baseball. It's a pleasure to look at. The Dutch baseball, and that's also one of the reasons, and that's probably one of the answers of the question for David Meenhorst, who tuned in as well. David, welcome. The question why we are commentating in English. This Holland Series, this finals, is probably in Europe as well. So we're both broadcasting on international platforms as well. So that's one of the reasons, David, just so you know. But this Holland Series is the highest level of baseball within Europe.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more competitive leagues in Europe, not to offend anyone in other leagues.
Of course.
There's a stealing attempt, and that is a caught stealing. Shadian Yamanika thrown out at second base, trying to steal. Put 2 runners in scoring position. Curaçao, Neptunus trying to manufacture runs in the way that HCAW has been doing it all season. Putting runners in motion, hit and runs, stealing bases, but this one fails. Shadian Yamanika gunned out at second base. And that is some help that Lars Huijer doesn't really need under normal circumstances, because he's good enough. You don't have to give him outs.
Great arm though by Julian Goins, the way he gunned him down. It was a laser beam to second base. Stijn van der Meer with his very specific way of waiting in the batter's box for the ball. His a lot of movement in his stance. A lot of movement from the bat above his bat. Almost like a helicopter. He circles above the helmet.
Yeah, definitely one of the more recognizable batting stances in Dutch baseball. I always put Van der Meer's stance right up there with, do you remember Dirk van 't Klooster?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, even if you couldn't see his face, you could tell Dirk van 't Klooster was batting from a mile away.
Oh,
he
yeah.
had such a distinct batting stance. Very, also a lefty, obviously. Very recognizable stance. And Van der Meer is the same in that regard.
Yeah, leaning
Looks,
back a lot as well.
yeah.
When he's not moving the bat, he's leaning back in it, and there's a big swing and a miss, and that's the third out. Great ball by Lars Heijer to finish off this inning and get back into the dugout with still that 5-2 lead.
You're watching Holland Series Game 1. We are underway here in the Netherlands for the championship in Dutch baseball. HCAW from Bussum currently in the lead 5-2 over Curaçao. Neptunus from Rotterdam. We are in Rotterdam. It's a home game for the team dressed in white taking the field right now as Aaron de Groot, who came in for Juan Carlos Sulbaran, who started today's game for Curaçao Neptunus. Aaron de Groot back out for a second inning of work to try and keep HCAW Bussum in check, and Bussumers have been on fire today. After falling behind early, down 2-0 after one inning of play, they've stormed back and taken a 5-2 lead, scoring 2 runs in the third and 3 in the fourth. And a comfortable 3-run lead here now for the Bussumers.
For much more baseball and softball news and for a lot of fantastic content both from the Dutch League as well as the Major League Baseball, where we follow the Dutch, mainly the Dutch, from the Kingdom of the Netherlands, I gotta say, the Kingdom of the Netherlands players who are scattered all over the USA and performing fantastic here and there. Go to honkbalsoftbal.nl or honkbalsoftbal.tv.
As we are also visited briefly in the booth by official scorer Dix Bonink, who was in charge of, well, the official scoring here today.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're an official scorer, that's what you tend to do.
Yep.
As we get underway here in the top of the 5th inning, Leandro Tromp in the batter's box. As we have been informed by our producer, Jeroen, that the audio issues seem to have been resolved. It should be in sync a little more. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully you can follow this game and our audio simultaneously.
An 0-2 count, the 0-2 pitcher. Leandro Tromp falls it back into the audience.
It's not really full here today,
No.
Rotterdam. It's a Thursday night. It's a school night. I too have to work tomorrow morning. I have to be at work at 8:15 tomorrow morning, and there will be no trains, as trains are on strike tomorrow in the Netherlands. So I'm in trouble, as that's a beautiful play by Stijn van der Meer, as the runner is gunned out. And we're still figuring out the delay on the switching to the camera, so we're trying to figure out if we can get those plays to you to make sure you can see them.
Tony Rumbly, thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the stream.
Ooh, that's a very good question by Let's Dance Raf in the chat, by the way. He's asking, or I'm assuming it's a he, who we think should be the MVP in the Hoofdklasse this year. I have a candidate in mind, but do you have one, or do you want to think about it?
I do have one.
Who do you think at this point? Who would be the first person you think of when you think MVP of the Hoofdklasse this year?
Well, considering everything, an MVP is. I mean, it's a hard one. I'm not gonna lie, it's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
Denzel Richardson.
I'm gonna go with Lars Heijer.
Ooh, nice.
I think Heijer has been just unbelievable this year, and I don't think HCAW make the Holland Series without him. So I'll go with Heijer.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you're 100% right. There are multiple candidates that you can.
Yeah, and so many factors that come factoring in for getting an MVP. If you're talking about the best pitcher, it gets already a little bit easier to get to Lars Heijer, for example. But there's so many factors for an MVP that factor in. And yeah, the downside of Lars Heijer, of course, pitching is incredibly important. But the downside is he rarely rarely bats.
Yep.
He can though, and he did. Oh well, this is a high fly ball over the center fielder, or is it a catch? No, it drops.
It dropped,
and that means that Kevin Dirksen makes it to second base, a stand-up double for him with 1 out. That's fantastic. That's a typical Kevin Dirksen hit, I would say. Not the furthest, not the fastest, but hits it right in the good spot.
Another candidate for MVP in any normal scenario could have been Oliver van der Wijst as well for Pioneers, by the way, who's had a fantastic season, tied for the league lead in home runs with 8, second in the league in average at 371, and led the league in RBIs with 43. So van der Wijst also definitely, it's unfortunate that Pioneers is not as a whole not very competitive this year. You've seen him a lot more than I have, but I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
But Van der Wijst had a phenomenal season as well.
Absolutely.
So he'd be up there for me when it comes to MVP candidates. Like you said, Denzel Richardson led the league, or tied with Van der Wijst in home runs. And what I liked about this season, and looking at the league leaders in offense here, for instance, as De Groot takes a long look into Dashenko Ricardo for the next pitch, and Quinton de Cuba whiffs and misses for strike 2. Is that, when you look at, for instance, the top 5 in batting average, it's 5 different teams. 5 different players from 5 different teams.
Okay, nice.
Same with home runs. The top 5 is 5 different, or actually four different teams. There's Signar Loopstok and Denzel Richardson both for L&D, but then we have Van der Wijst from Pioneers, Simon Melvoort from HCAW, and Polonius for Neptunus, rounding out the top 5 for home runs. Whereas in average, we have Roger Bernardina leading the league, followed by Van der Wijst, Ibrahim Radon from Quick Amersfoort, Koen Halderman from DSS Kenheim from Haarlem, and Delano Salassa from Amsterdam. Yeah, rounding out the top 5. So it's 5 different teams, 4 different teams. There's a lot of different players from different teams. I think that's a good sign for baseball in the Netherlands.
Absolutely. You got to take into consideration, though, that the individual prizes for the awards for MVP, for Home Run King, they are based on the regular season. Correct. Which is, so, yeah, for example, if you look at Bernardina, you might have hit it. Had some great hitting stats in the postseason, in the playoffs, for example, but that doesn't count for the MVP.
But the more I'm looking for it,
or for best batter.
It's an easy pick to pick higher as Quinton de Cuba strikes out, because HCAW made the playoffs, but Van der Wijst also led the league in slugging, in OBP, in doubles. It's not a bad season.
No, absolutely no. He has been on the top of the list almost every game. It was almost surprising if he wasn't the best hitter, or one of the best 2 hitters in the team. He carried Hoofddorp for a while, as far as he could at least. Hoofddorp was struggling for quite a while in the beginning of the season. By the end of the season, they seemed to get a rhythm going, but then Twins from Oosterhout made a pretty solid stop to that streak that they were having. But overall, I mean, there's some big surprises as well. When you look, for example, at HCAW as a team as a whole. For their first season back in the top league.
Interesting team.
Performed that well.
HCAW, interesting team. Had a couple of really fun players. Jeremy Young.
Yeah.
Very interesting season. Yeah. He had a pitcher for HCAW.
Yeah, and a nicely well-rounded team with, of course, this insanely amazing game that they had. Was it the very first weekend? Yep. They had a series against Amsterdam Pirates, and it was absolutely insane what happened there.
It's like 1 million runs.
Yeah.
Was it 25 to 24 or something like that? I forget what it was.
I had to 18-25 or something in the end. But
exactly.
Amsterdam was leading 18 to
nothing, or 18 to 3. Yeah, as Jules Kramer swings and misses to that pitch. Yeah, that was a nuts game. We were divvying up the games that weekend for voiceover jobs, me and you, and I was shafted because I got the HCAW Amsterdam game, which I think, like you said, 43 runs were scored in one game. Yeah. You can imagine how long that highlight reel was.
Yeah, that was an absolute record as well.
As Kramer fouls that off into the woods behind the stadium here. Good at bat by Kramer. who made that fantastic play in the outfield earlier, tracking down a high fly, deep hit, almost hit, deep left field earlier,
Big
using
ball?
his speed.
Big ball.
Kramer wants a timeout. He is not granted a timeout. Olaf Steiger wants to continue play, and that pitch is high for a ball. 2-2, 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. HCAW leading 5-2. Kevin Dirks is still at second base.
Jules Kramer looking for the second hit of this game.
As the Groot fires, and that hits Kramer on the hand. So Kramer will get rid of all the extra protection he wears, and his batting gloves, and his... man, I've seen fashion shows where they wear less than that. It's a lot of stuff that needs to be taken to the dugout. But
Oh, now he's on his way on the catwalk to first base.
well, it's not the worst player you can pick for a fashion show, I think, Jules Kramer. Very likable guy. We had him on camera in during baseball week as well. That video did very well. Very popular player here in the Netherlands. If you want to see any of the interviews, by the way, people who are watching now who didn't see any of baseball week, you can go to youtube.com/honkbalweek and watch guys like Jules Kramer and other players for the Kingdom team talk about baseball. Oof. Maybe you heard that. That's a baseball that hit the roof over our heads.
Live soundboard.
Max Dreyer, the batter. Man, we are lucky with this weather here tonight. I was worried when we were on our way here. I was driving here with Seb Visser, who is also in attendance and working this broadcast, and we were worried that it was going to rain like crazy, but it's been an absolutely gorgeous night here in Rotterdam. I apologize, people from Rotterdam, that I almost said Amsterdam. Just so used to it.
To answer Luis Miguel da Roja Teixeira, the game for Saturday hasn't been suspended. Just so it's still on.
The weather forecast is terrible for Saturday, but let's hope that, also given the fact that I believe there's artificial turf in Bussum, not real grass. Partial artificial fields, I think.
Yes.
So that might mean that a lot of rain is easily disposed of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So even if it rains a lot, we're hopeful that Saturday will continue as planned.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's too early now to suspend anything, for that matter.
As that ball is popped up high in the foul territory over at first base, and you see on the right side of your screen, Shadian Yamanika dropping the baseball. That is an unfortunate situation. This is going to be an interesting next pitch here coming up, because this would be a moment where, under normal circumstances, HCAW seizes the extra opportunity they've been given. We've seen it time and time again. We saw it earlier in this ball game, and an error also led to the opening of the floodgates for HCAW and multiple runs being scored. This would be a typical HCAW moment if Dreyer is able to drive in a run or two here.
Max Dreyer, that is.
Indeed, yes. As Deschenko, Gardo needs to tighten his face mask, I believe. It's not a huge crowd, but they are very into this ball game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're loud. They're aware of what's going on the field.
Yep.
It's really fun. As de Groot gets set and steps off to second base, making sure that Dirksen knows that de Groot knows that he's there. Big pitch coming here. 1-2 as de Groot fires and delivers, and it's fouled back to the screen by Dreyer, who stays alive. There's another fastball. A lot of fastballs here in this inning from de Groot. Runners on first and second here for HCAW, 2 away. Neptunus desperately looking for an extra run. Oh, that's a beautiful pitch. Just a bit outside by the Groot. Just a bit outside.
Yeah, that's almost touched the corner right there.
I almost thought you were finishing the quote for me there, because I think the full quote is just a bit outside. Tried the corner and missed.
Pressure is on though for Aaron de Groot. Probably another fastball coming in.
Nope, that is indeed a breaking ball, and that is strike 3 called, and no debate by Dreyer, who accepts his fate.
Very interesting, interesting pitching tactics for Aaron de Groot, going with a lot of fastballs and then finishing it off at the moment that you might not expect it to go to the high breaking ball up. And yeah, he definitely fooled Max Dreyer there and made sure that he was the third out, preventing some more damage to Curaçao Neptunus.
We'll give you a line score since we have a little time to kill. It's 5-2 in favor of HCAW Bussum. The Bussumers have 6 base hits, no errors, and have left 5 on base so far through 5 innings for them. Neptunus has had 4 innings on offense. They have 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left on base as well. So HCAW Bussum in the lead by 3. And with their ace on the mound in Lars Huyer, they stand a pretty decent chance of taking a 1-0 lead here in the series. Game 1 of the Holland Series in the Netherlands. Welcome everyone watching this ball game from the Netherlands and abroad. Thanks so much for checking in. If you just checked in and you're wondering why you're listening to me and Jason, Jason Houtkamp, my co-announcer, my name is Jasper Roos, by the way. Thank you for joining us. If you're wondering why we are doing this broadcast in English, it's because we have a large international following watching and following the Holland Series. And we just want to spread as much baseball as we can throughout the world, right?
Absolutely. We're happy that we're able to broadcast this Holland Series, the whole Holland Series. You can join us online through multiple platforms, and we're happy to do so because this is baseball on a level that we love everyone to see.
As Huyer fires and delivers his second pitch in the at-bat against Untitled Tromp. It's second ball in a row, 2 balls, no strikes here in this at-bat. So Tromp ahead in the count, and Huyer working quickly, firing a strike. 2-1 the count.
One of the weapons of Lars Huyer as well is changing the pace real fast. Sometimes they can, and especially later in the game, he can go from relaxed stance, more relaxed pace of the game. He can switch it up right away and go ball after ball after ball. And that gives the batter not a lot of chance, not a lot of opportunities to adjust, to get into the count, and they have to make these very quick decisions. While the ball is grounded to Lars Huyer, he throws it at first, the ball is on time. It's also one of his the things that he does so well, fielding a ball and throwing it to first base. You see so many pitchers having a lot of trouble with that, but he has a great arm with that throw to first base, and usually gets out of the troubles over there.
As a famous Dutch baseball YouTuber, Roelie Henrique, walks up to my left here, so he is in attendance as well.
You. Everyone who's been at the baseball week knows what we're talking about.
As Huyer now facing John Polonius after dispatching of Untitled Tromp. Polonius and Tromp, the number 3 and 2 respectively in the lineup for Neptunus, were the 2 players who scored runs in the first inning for Neptunus. Polonius is 1 for 1 on the day with a run scored.
Yeah, they both got on base in their first 2 at-bats. John Poloni has actually made it to first base by a hit by pitch in his last at-bat.
And Tromp had a walk in his second at-bat, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then after this we have Roger Bernardina. He's the third one to be in both of his at-bats on base. And there's one more that's all the way on the bottom of the batting order. It's the number 9, Shadian Yamanika. He too got on base in the first 2 at-bats of this game. Ooh, that ball was hit very dangerously fast into the audience, but I don't think it hit someone. It was
close enough.
Ooh, close enough. Yeah, even the chair hurts now.
Yeah, we don't have high screens here in Rotterdam. The netting behind both dugouts is not very high. So anything hit over what, maybe 2 meters?
Yeah, not much more than that.
Will end up in the seats with the crowd as Polonius cranks one into deep center field where it is being tracked down and caught for the out. Nice job there. Leandro Tromp, veteran center fielder, good defender, tracks it down, hauls it in. It's 2 away here for Hire in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Neptunus needs to find a way to get something going here, because even when they had something going in the previous inning, they ran themselves into outs and helped out Lars Hire. So it's up to Roger Bernardina now to be the fire starter that Curaçao Neptunus needs badly right now. Trailing 5-2 here in game 1 of the Holland Series. As that is strike 1 to Bernardina. That next pitch by Hire is inside, gets away from Goins, but that's fine. There's no one on base, so we do need a bad boy to come pick up that baseball. It's going to be the coach from the looks of it. It's past bedtime for the bad boys, I guess. As Hire once again quickly into his windup, fires, and that is lifted into left field, and that's a fair ball for Roger Bernardina. And Shark goes to second base with a double, a 2-out double to be exact. So it does require Junior Martina, the DH for today, to come through with a base hit here for Bernardina to score. You got a new phone, Jason?
Actually, an old one.
Yeah, I heard the story. Jason broke his cell phone. Was it last week?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that didn't survive.
Yeah, I see you tap on your screen like it's not even
I don't
responding
know,
to
it's what it's doing right now.
Is it a Nokia 3310?
This is a BlackBerry. Thanks for asking.
Oh my gosh.
Let's Dance Ref. Great to have you in the chat. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that gave me a good chuckle.
Making us laugh. You gotta love it. You know what? How about we return the question to you guys in the chat? Who do you think should be the MVP of the season? Please let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. It's been a very active chat today. We're very curious to hear your thoughts on the Hoofdklasse season. As Junior Martina is waiting for the 0-1 pitch from Hire, and it's fouled and into the seats to our right for strike 2. So Junior Martina here deep in the hole, and Hire with the chance to get out of this inning without any further damage after the double by Roger Bernardina 1 batter ago.
2 outs on the board, 2 strikes on the board, no balls. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's way up for ball 1.
We got to vote for Lars Hire for MVP, so I agree with that. I feel so bad for Jason because he's so desperately trying to get that BlackBerry to work. It seems to me like it's dying.
I'm afraid it was already dead and buried.
Oh man. Yeah, well. At least you have a phone right now.
No, fair enough. True.
Right. As that pitch by Heyer is outside for ball 2. 2-2 here. 2 away. So Martina battling back here into the at-bat after being in the hole 0-2.
Yeah, Lars Heyer tried to get him to swing with that low ball over there, the low slider. And there is the swing and the contact. Junior Martina. Oh, and there goes
the waving
Bernardina to home plate, and he scores. He scores. Third run for Curaçao. Neptunus by the good contact made by Junior Martina in the 2-2 pitch while he was trailing by 2 strikes. And then RBI because pretty, well, let's call it an aggressive move by waving him through to the home plate, because if that ball was laser beam to the home plate, then he probably would have been out. But that's a daring move, and that's probably something that you just need to do while being down by 3 runs to make that difference even smaller. And 5-3, and a runner on second base. Still 2 outs. No need to panic or anything for Lars Heyer, of course, but he was up in that count by 2 strikes to no balls. So he's probably not too pleased with that RBI. And now a very good RBI by Junior Martina.
Now Heyer getting up there in pitches now too. He's we're in, what is it, 5th inning, 4.2 innings pitched, and he's up to 77 right now. 48 strikes. As this next pitch to Dwayne Kemp is fouled onto the roof above us. We have a vote for MVP for Stijn van der Meer in the chat. I'm a huge Stijn van der Meer fan. I always refer to him as the vacuum cleaner stofzuiger Stijn for his fantastic defensive play over at third base.
Yeah, and that's one of the harder things, especially in the Dutch league, to take into account when it comes to stats. We have a little bit less good overview when it comes to fielding stats in terms of importance. As you can get the putouts, but you can't really put that into a great perspective. So a lot of the stats that that you're gonna have to use and utilize to get to that MVP will be mainly the betting stats. And having that said, Stijn van der Meer is a fantastic batter.
I told this story during Honkball Week as well, during one of the broadcasts. I made a joke during one of the recaps at one point as Dwayne Kemp is in the hole 0-2 here, and Heyer fires and delivers, and Kemp skies it into left field. That's Jules Kramer coming in and making the catch in left field, and that ends the inning. So Neptunus puts a run on the board. They're now trailing by 2 as it is 5-3 for HCAW, and fortunately we don't have a commercial break coming up right now, I don't think. So I can finish my story that I was about to start, because I learned from Sean and Baseball Week that you should never start a story with 2 outs.
Yeah,
because there's a good chance you won't be able to finish it before the commercial break. Sure, I made that mistake by starting a story with 2 outs. But we don't have commercial breaks, so I can finish my story that I was attempting to tell. So as I said, I refer to Stijn van der Meer as Stofzuiger Stijn, the vacuum cleaner. Yep. And earlier in the season he had a rough game where he made like an error or 2, or there was a ball that bounced away from him. So I joked that he should get a new vacuum cleaner bag because there's apparently a hole in it because the balls kept getting through. And a day later someone texted me a picture of Stijn van der Meer in the dugout holding a brand new vacuum cleaner bag. So one of his teammates apparently had heard me say that. I think it was Louis J. Seniors. Who heard me say that and bought Stijn van der Meer a new vacuum cleaner bag. Yeah, I love it. It's so funny. These guys are really funny. These Hoofdklasse players are generally just really funny guys.
Approachable. They love the game. And they also love to be ambassadors for the game and for their teams as well. They're very good pros.
As we get underway here in the top of the 6th, HCAW will be batting and trying to expand their lead. They're up 5-3. Aaron de Groot still pitching for Curaçao Neptunus. And that's a ball 1 to Bob van der Meer, the other Van der Meer, on the field today. As de Groot winds and delivers, and Van der Meer grounds it up the middle, where it is fielded by Dwayne Kemp, and a very, very, very nice play by Dwayne Kemp over at second base. All reliable, Dwayne Kemp.
Yeah, he looked like he had some trouble with initially with that ball. He had bounced off his glove, but he managed to recover with his speed, and then with the speed of his turn, the way he turns his upper body directly while actually still grabbing the ball, still already turning his upper body into the first base, and then made that throw with his quick arm. Yes, like straight on, laser beam to first base. No chance for Bob van der Meer.
That play reminded me of a Tadahito Iguchi play from about, what is it, a decade ago, maybe 12 years ago? Second baseman from Japan who played in the major leagues for a couple of seasons for the White Sox and Phillies, and I believe one more team, I forget, who also made like a similar play to that, but he went like full flying. Like he was fully like horizontal as he threw the ball. It was an amazing play. If anyone wants to look it up, Tadahito Iguchi. As Julian Goins skies one into center field, where it is fairly easily hauled in by Christian Diaz.
That's 2 quick outs for Curaçao Neptunus. We're going back to the top of the orders. Brandley Martina, who's having a great game so far. Already scored a run and has 2 RBIs behind his name. After that bomb into left field, over the left fielder. Now in a little bit worse shape in terms of no one on the base.
This pitch by de Groot is just a bit high for a ball. So Jason expertly uses the cough button on our microphone.
Exactly.
So you did that better than Keith Hernandez did, New York Mets broadcaster a couple weeks ago, who was just coughing and coughing into the microphone until one of his co-announcers said, "Hey, you know there's a cough button on your mic, right?"
Just so you know.
The excellent TV booth for the New York Mets with Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez, and Gary something, whose last name eludes me right now. Doesn't matter. 2-1 count here, 2 balls and a strike to Brandley Martina, who swings and misses through that pitch by Aaron de Groot for a 2-2 count. So it's deuces wild once more. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, no, sorry, I couldn't help you with the names of the commentators.
Gary Thorne, I believe his name is.
Oh, okay, there you go. I always turn off the commentary and do it myself.
Yes, this is how you practice at home. This is why you're so good at it. As that ball is popped up to Dwayne Kemp and caught for out number 3. Quick inning for Aaron de Groot. Excellent inning for de Groot, who took over in relief for Juan Carlos Sulbaron a couple of innings ago and has been good. Yeah, it's been good. I think this is a quick inning.
Absolutely. In his last inning, he had 2 strikeouts. This inning, he did not have 1 strikeout, but it was a 1-2-3 inning for Aaron de Groot.
Oh, we got Greece playing on the Stadium PA, of course, as a nod to Olivia Newton-John, who passed away a couple of weeks ago. Greece.
Yep.
And not the only famous person who's passed away recently, as you may have heard that Queen Elizabeth II in England has passed away earlier tonight, as did Piet Schrijvers, the former legendary Ajax goalkeeper in the 70s. Can you imagine passing away on the same day that Queen Elizabeth dies? The whole world is talking about...
Or Piet Schrijvers.
Yeah, poor Piet. He's not going to be the first person people think about when they think about this day.
No, probably not. But I'm pretty sure there will be multiple tributes to Schrijvers, because he's one of the big ones from the 70s.
Yes.
Golden generation.
Definitely assume a moment of silence for Ajax's next game.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
And there's probably going to be like 3 or 4 days of national mourning in England over Queen
Oh
Elizabeth.
yeah, that's going to be a whole another level. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that will go.
The worst part is now I have to remember to call this the next guy King Charles and no longer Prince Charles, and that's going to be a tough one. For 36 years, I've been calling that guy Prince Charles. That's going to be a tough cookie. As we get underway here in the bottom of the 6th, Christian Diaz, the left-handed hitter, has stepped in against Lars Heijer. And he looked at strike 1 in attempts to bunt the second pitch in the at-bat, but it's strike 2. He missed the bunt.
Lars Heijer quick on his feet to get into the batter's box to grab that bunt. Also to show Diaz, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you bunt. I'll get it and I'll throw it at first base.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Sure,
Diaz,
that's what you want. I'll do it.
Diaz
Mind games.
chops that next one foul. Yeah, but baseball is mind games. Baseball is all about getting in the head of your opponent. The batter wants to know what the pitcher is thinking and is about to throw, and the pitcher wants to know what the batter is looking for, and then not throw that, obviously.
Yep.
That pitch is low and outside by Heijer for ball 1. That's the beauty of baseball, is getting into each other's head and trying to figure out, as Diaz lines that one foul and into and over the HCAW bullpen in left field, actually. So we can do it all again. 0-2 count here on the veteran outfielder for Curaçao Neptunus. As Heijer winds and delivers, and Diaz grounds it to first base, fielded cleanly by Quinton Cuba?
Yes, that's Quinton Cuba.
Yeah,
Yes,
Cuba,
absolutely.
yes,
Yep.
Couldn't see his
First
jersey
base.
number when he was facing me. Now I can see.
Yeah, Quinton Cuba, nice little rundown at first base against Christian Diaz. You guys know each other very well.
It's a fun game today. It's fun. It's fast. I don't mind that at all because I need to get back home at some point too. And like I said before, be at work at 8:15 tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I will be riding my bike for 19 kilometers tomorrow morning since there are no trains.
Okay.
Please, everyone at home, feel sorry for me. Thank you very much.
Very much do. Absolutely. I'll think about you when I'm not riding my bike for 19 kilometers.
Tough break, man.
Yes, it is. Dashenko Ricardo is up for Curaçao Neptunus, trying to get something going in the bottom of the 6th inning. Falls it away though to the right side. But he was looking for maybe one big hit, as Dashenko Ricardo tends to do.
There's a couple of players in the Dutch Hoofdklasse where the ball just sounds differently when it comes off their bats, even if it's a foul ball, like Ricardo hit earlier, as he grounds it out to third base this time around. But it just sounds, the ball just sounds differently hitting his bat.
Heavier almost.
It's like an explosion
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
There's a couple of guys on Neptunus, by the way. Obviously, Roger Bernardina is also someone. If he gets a hold of one here in Rotterdam, they will be able to hear it all the way on the other side of the Maas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and also guys like Signov Loopstok or
Yes, Denzel Richardson, Kalian Sams, if he gets a hold of one, holy moly, players for Amsterdam.
Explode from the bat, like you said. Absolutely, that's well put. Shadian Yamanika now up for his 3rd at bat in this game. He got on base in both of his first 2 at bats, and now Lars Heijer is really picking up the pace.
That was a good pitch. I don't know what the problem was with that one, but it seemed like a pretty decent pitch on the outside corner. But Heijer quickly back to work. Oh, I see. We were experimenting with the strike zone box again. Jeroen, our producer, is always looking at ways to improve the broadcast. That's Heijer. That's an excellent pitch, and that's a swing and a miss by Shadian Yamanika. And that ends the 6th inning here as Heijer now at 94 pitches. Heijer so far 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts on the aforementioned 94 pitches. So excellent outing so far. And there is no real activity in the HCAW bullpen yet. I see one player with white pants and a blue sweatshirt on throwing weighted balls up against the wall, so that would indicate a potential warm-up exercise. Not only can I not tell who it is from all the way over here where I'm sitting, but I don't even know for sure if this is actually someone warming up. This is the Trevor Bauer warm-up method, by the way, what he's doing. Throwing weighted balls against the wall and trying to catch them behind the back. That's what Trevor Bauer used to do. Trevor Bauer, obviously, not a very good season for him this year with the allegations of misconduct. He hasn't seen a lot of playing time this year for the LA Dodgers at all. But this is definitely a warm-up exercise that reminds me of him. As we got the Miami sound machine on the PA system here. Gloria Estefan and her band.
Yep. Refugees from Cuba.
I believe so, yeah.
Yep. Victor Dreyer leading off for HCAW in the 7th inning.
Would have been even better if Quinton de Cuba would have been up to bat now, but
yeah, he probably would have.
Yeah,
would have come on swinging, not only his bat but also the hips.
Exactly. Yeah.
Victor Dreyer now leading it off for HCAW, and I mean also the pace at bat probably has to go up a little. Danny Ramsey might not be too happy about that 1-2-3 inning in the last inning and the inning before with the 2 strikeouts and just a couple of bunch of nothing going on.
Scoreboard currently lists 2-0, but that was last pitch was a strike ruled by Olaf Steiger. Doesn't matter because this next one is skied into center field, caught by Christian Diaz. I did something risky there. I called that play before the ball was actually caught, but I have so much faith in Christian Diaz that I just knew he wasn't going to drop it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, risky indeed.
Live on the edge, right?
Oh yeah, living on the edge. Leandro Tromp is the next one up for HCAW. 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 HCAW.
Beautiful, beautiful name. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I heard you thinking as well.
Yeah,
Maybe you heard my brains going as well. Okay, what was it again?
I remembered it, but I wanted to make sure that I got it right. Honkbalclub Allen Weerbaar. HCAW. Beautiful name. As we see Leandro Tromp once again find Christian Diaz in center field, who has been making double overtime in the outfield today. So hard contact here off Aaron de Groot, but right at someone, so that makes it a lot harder. As Tromp chats with Stijn van der Meer on his way back to the dugout. These guys know each other so well. They play each other all the time. They've been in the league for forever.
Yeah, like you said, Christian Diaz has been put to work. He has 5 flyouts to do. Oh, there's the base hit actually by Kevin Dirksen that flies nicely alongside second baseman Wayne Camp. Getting Kevin Dirksen on first base with 2 outs. Where did we see that before? It's like the last inning, except it was brilliantly Martina who was up. Now it is Quinton de Cuba himself. And that's the second base hit in a row for Kevin Dirksen after the double that he hit in his previous at-bat, and his 3rd base hit in 4 at-bats in this game. Kevin Dirksen on a roll as the DH.
Missed opportunity to once again put some Miami sound machine on the speakers here with Quinton de Cuba batting. It's funny, I still have my Google page here about HCAW open. Look, Google knows exactly when the games are on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Because it says that normally on Thursday at this time it's as busy as it gets at HCAW because there's a lot of people watching the Thursday games. Because in the Netherlands we play series that are being played on Thursdays, Saturday, and Sunday.
Triples. Yeah.
Yeah, triple header series. So yeah, it makes sense that normally Google says this is a busy day in Bussum.
As busy as it gets. I like it.
They're all here in the third base.
Right now it's not that busy
box.
In Bussum. They're all here in Rotterdam, where we see Quinton de Cuba looking at a 2-0 count
Also, big shout out to Elvin Englantina of Backstop Radio Penge in the house, broadcasting this game in Papiamentu. Veteran radio broadcaster. Whenever there's baseball in the Netherlands, Elvin will show up with his big box full of toys, meaning his headset.
And his commentary stuff.
Bunch of laptops, mixer panel, headset. Always a joy to have Elvin around. One of the nicest guys in the Dutch baseball world.
Absolutely, and also a great umpire.
Absolutely, yeah. He's been doing some of that too.
Absolutely, yeah, and very well.
As
Quinton steps away for ball 4.
He basically did what I just did with the play for Diaz. He called it well before the play was actually.
Yep. Well, he definitely showed I am in no way today I'm gonna hit or even try to attempt to hit that ball.
Oh, snacks.
Yes, baby. Cassouffles.
Thank you.
If you're abroad, you want to come to the Netherlands and you want to try a snack, go to the cassouffle.
Last time you were eating right next to me in a commentary booth, you spilled pizza on a bright white shirt.
I know, yeah. that was annoying. That was annoying.
I mean, yeah, you show up to the ballpark in a white button-down shirt. Was it a sweater? I forget.
It was a sweater, but I thought it was. I wanted to look nice, you know.
Yeah, of course. I appreciate you wanting to look nice for me.
Yeah, exactly. What happens? Boom, pizza on my white shirt. Thank you very much.
If you're wondering why we're talking about pizza on Jason's shirt, it's because there's a meeting of the minds on the mound, so there's not a whole lot of baseball being played right now. A lot of discussion going on. Aaron de Groot is talking with Dasheko Ricardo, Dwayne and John Polonius.
Oh, and they're cleaning the are they?
He wants the mount fixed. Is that what it is? I was so busy talking about pizza that I didn't. Yeah, they want the mount fixed. The coat is not like the way the mount feels. So they're looking for a rake now.
Yeah, we already saw Juan Carlos Subaran also struggling with the mount. Well, I mean, it's a common thing to do for pitchers, of course, to feel the mount and to make the heaps where you want them, to make the dips where you want them to be, to make it feel comfortable yourself. But in the past days, it has rained quite a lot, which makes the gravel on the mount quite tough. And
and a new first base. We're getting a new first base too, apparently.
Yep, a whole new first base. There you go.
Stofzuiger Stijn in charge of getting us a new base as well. He really is the MVP. I fully agree now with Norbert van Oosterhout, who said that Stijn van der Meer should be the MVP, and he is actually the one fixing first base right now, so further cementing his MVP status. Yeah, cassouffles are hot. Don't burn your mouth, man.
Oh, I know. I'm an expert in eating cassouffles. The trick is, wait a bit. Trust me, if you haven't never eaten a cassouffle, wait a bit.
Yep.
Anyone who did eat a cassouffle and they didn't wait a bit, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's the best first base I've ever seen. Nice job, Stijn van der Meer, getting us a new bag. All right, back to baseball. We got Kevin Dirksen coming back out of the dugout to take his rightful spot over at second base. There you see him running into your screen. So we're back to baseball after this brief snack interlude. And Stijn will indeed apparently also serve the beers after the game, according to Norbert. So sing it with me, MVP, MVP. Jules Kramer has stepped into the batter's box now against Aaron de Groot, who had a elongated layoff here. A slightly longer layoff than he would have wanted, I believe. But his first pitch is called a strike on the outside corner. As Fred van Groningen-Schinkel, and I believe that is René Ras, umpire René Ras, with Fred van Groningen-Schinkel here to our right as well, present in the ballpark.
Yep, absolutely.
A lot of familiar faces here tonight. A lot of baseball fans interested in seeing the start of the Holland Series. Game 1 is what you're watching. Curaçao Neptunus from Rotterdam, the home team. HCAW from Bussum, the away team. And the away team currently in the lead, 5-3. Both teams 7 base hits. Neptunus 2 errors, HCAW none. As Kramer looks at strike 2 here on the outside corner. 1 and 2 to count, 2 away. Runners on first and second base for HCAW, looking to expand their lead here in the top of the 7th inning. It's been a fast ball game so far. We started right around 7:30. It's almost 10 o'clock now. As Kramer wants time, he's not being granted time, I guess. Or is he? Well, it doesn't matter. De Groot waits for him anyway.
A bit, exactly. Exactly.
As De Groot winds and fires, and Kramer swings out of his shoes and misses, and that's a strikeout. And with that strikeout, De Groot is out of the inning and out of trouble. As we head to the bottom of the 7th to the dulcet tones of "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Yeah, it's just so much fun to sing along with "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Well, we're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Bat for Curaçao Neptunus is, there he is, the vacuum cleaner, Mr. Can Do Everything, Stijn van der Meer, leading it off from the top of the order, which might be a great opportunity for Curaçao Neptunus to get into their own rhythm, get something going right away, but Lars Heijer says no, strike 1.
Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Can you finish the quote?
80s?
Something, something. It's bobsleigh time. It's from cool Runnings.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Jamaican bobsleigh team. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Something, something. It's bobsleigh time.
Yeah.
I forget. It's been a long time since I watched that movie.
Absolutely. I actually saw the documentary not too long. Okay. Anyway.
Anyways, back to baseball.
Yeah, there was a pitch inside for ball 2. Getting the count on 2-1 for Stijn van der Meer. Important inning here. And there is the contact. Will it fly over the center fielder? It will not. Oh, run down by Giancarlo Tromp in center field.
Did you see Bob van der Meer's reaction to that fly out?
No.
He was making like a throwaway motion towards Stijn. Like, nah,
get back.
that's not it. Go home.
Get back to your dugout.
That's
Stijn.
funny. Good stuff.
Some family love going on there.
Love to see it. That brings up Jan-Dido Tromp, the left fielder of Team Kingdom of the Netherlands during Baseball Week. And now in the Neptunus white, the pinstripes, the classic pinstripe uniforms.
I think Norbert van Oosterhout might be right here that Stijn van der Meer probably also will get the beers after the game.
Absolutely. As that was fouled to the screen for strike 1 for Tromp. And Heijer is ready to go. Like, he's just standing there. Tromp is doing a little lap around the block, and Heijer is just ready to throw his next pitch.
Oh yeah, it's a smart move by Tromp by taking his time a little bit, making that big circle, because you don't want to get in Heijer's rhythm. You gotta keep your own rhythm going and detect the pace of your at-bat.
Heijer is just too good right now. It's that was his 101, pitch number 101. 67 strikes.
67.
68 actually, because I should add that one from just now. So that would be 68 strikes.
68. 101 pitches. That's a very nice effort by him. And there's the swing and a miss. Ooh, Gentino Trump trying to get Lars Heijer out of his rhythm, out of his well-doing actually, but he just couldn't. He just couldn't. Great strikeout.
Actually, that was pitch 101. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So, well,
There we go.
close
We're
enough.
all up to date now.
Close enough.
And then the next at bat is for John Polonius, who had a fly out to center field in his last at bat. His first two he got on base. There's 2 outs. First pitch is a ball. Ball one. John Polonius trying to get something started here for Neptunus. Still trailing by 2 runs. So needs to get something going soon enough. And there is a big fly ball to center field, but Chandra Trump is right underneath for the 3rd catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Lars Heijer still on the mound, and in inning number 7 he produces a very clean 1-2-3 inning with a strikeout.
It sounded like that bat broke. Sounded like a little crack. I don't think that thing is all in one piece anymore. Whitney Houston, love it. Stadium DJ has been on point today. Having a good time today.
I agree. Absolutely.
By the way, can we talk about
Hey,
this
Banner.
absolutely gorgeous logo? We haven't talked about it yet, but this is
nice.
some really nice design work here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah, the logos of both teams at the bottom. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, well done. Well
Good
done.
stuff.
Absolutely. Good work. Well done. Nice logo. Love it.
Yeah, very clean.
With obviously the home plate as a centerpiece. Gotta love it. All right, that brings us to inning number 8. While Jasper next to me is dancing with somebody, I guess. With somebody who loves you, or not?
Well, I'm the only one dancing here, so.
Yes, yeah, I guess. If you love yourself,
Nobody
then
loves me. Yeah.
Max Dreyer is up for HCAW. See if HCAW, after that 1-2-3 inning just now for Curaçao Neptunus, if HCAW can actually maybe extend their lead. Is it that time again? They got to second base in their the previous inning, but Aaron de Groot doing a great job finishing it off. And some nice strikeouts here and there, left and right.
As I just noticed, you can actually, we were talking about Elvin Englantina and Backstop Radio Penga earlier. You can see him on the broadcast. He is sitting to the left of the scorebug. His co-announcer is the first person right to the left of the scorebug, and then the second one with the silver laptop screen is Elvin. So Backstop Radio Penga in the house as Aaron de Groot winds and delivers, and that ball is grounded to the vacuum cleaner over at third. That is Stijn van der Meer, and he throws out Max Dreyer for out number 1. Time is running out here for Neptunus, so they want to get back to the offensive side of things quickly. So de Groot working quickly, trying to get out of the inning quickly to put his offense back on the field in an attempt to make up the 2-run difference that is currently on the scoreboard. HCAW from Bussum leading 5-3 here in Game 1 of the Holland Series.
Yeah, definitely. And if Lars Heijer returns to the mound, then you also want him to have as least time as possible in between his innings, between the throwing of the pitcher. So he has less time to recover and might have a harder time in the 8th inning.
As Bob van der Meer skies that into right field, where Dwayne Kemp hovers under it and makes the catch for out number 2.
Julian Goins coming up for HCAW now, the catcher. scored 2 runs in this game already. 2 of the 5 in total. High fly out to center field in his previous at bat. Now with 2 outs and no one on base.
That pitch high and outside by Aaron de Groot. 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. HCAW haven't been able to get a whole lot done since their outbursts in the 3rd and 4th inning when they scored a total of 5 runs. They've been held in check mostly ever since. But Lars Huijer, their pitcher, has been in total control over the Curaçao Neptunus offense as well. That's why the score is 5-3 in favor of the Bussumers.
The 2-1 pitch here.
That's a good pitch.
That's a go for strike 2.
Very nice slider there by Aaron de Groot. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th as Goins skies it into right center field. Yep, and it is caught once again by Christian Diaz. That retires the side. We're going to the bottom of the 8th, and Neptunus has 6 outs to work with to make up the 2-run difference. You know what happens in the bottom of the 8th here in Rotterdam. We play Sweet Caroline.
Absolutely.
And yeah, not a fan. No, I'm kidding.
No,
that's fine.
Oh, well, they heard you.
They heard me.
They heard you. There you go. Yeah, no, we were talking about the umpires that are walking around, not only on the field, but also commissioners. There's whole commissions walking around here in the stadium itself. Because if anything happens on the field, like if any protest, for example, happens on the field, they're gonna sort it out right away. All the commissioners are here, the protest commission, and also when it might come to a strike or anything, all the commissions are here and they sort it out right away. So it doesn't have to take it till next game in order to have the punishments going, if needed, of course. So it will all be settled right here on the stands. That's why all the commissioners, including Fred van Groningen, René Ras, who else do we see? Peter Brink.
Peter Brink, yeah, right
They're
there.
all here attending, and they will be for every single game of this Holland Series.
You mean if someone uses an illegal bat?
For example.
For instance, yes.
Yep.
Quick referring to the baseball week a couple of weeks ago when one of the Cuban players was busted for playing with a corked or sawed-off bat.
Even more so, 2 Cuban players.
2 Cuban, yeah, that's right. They were, well, for different reasons.
For different reasons.
They had differently altered illegal bats, let's just say.
Exactly. Quite insane, though. The bottom of the 8th, it's Curaçao Neptunus' turn again to try to get runs on the board, and they have to because they're trailing by 2 runs. It's 5-3 in favor of HCAW. The visitors are ahead for a big portion of this game now, and Lars Huijer definitely looks in control. Got back on the mound, even in this 8th inning. And okay.
That's a foul ball, I think.
Yeah.
I think he tried to check his swing and it bounced off the bat for Roger Bernardina.
Yeah. Roger Bernardina, one of the guys who got on base in every single one of his at-bats in this game, all 3 of them. Looking for that 4th one, and that's gonna happen as well with a nice lead-off single for Roger Bernardina. That's his 4th base hit in 4 at-bats.
Bernardina has been excellent today. It's the heart of the lineup for Neptunus. So if there's a part of your lineup you want to have up here in this dire situation, it is the heart of your lineup. Number 4, 5, 6, Bernardina. The cleanup man today for Neptunus, now followed in the batter's box by Junior Martina, the DH, who goes first pitch hunting, and that's high in the right field, and that requires a sliding attempt and is not hauled in for a catch. So well done by the way by Bernardina, taking as much leeway as he could in the direction of second base. So he's safe at second, and we got runners on first and second now for Curaçao Neptunus, and they are in business with Dwayne Kemp making his way into the batter's box. And we have activity in the HCAW bullpen. I can't see who it is, but just so you know, HCAW have activity in the bullpen, and that makes sense because there's nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th, and Neptunus have runners on first and second.
Tried to catch it from right fielder over there, Victor Dreyer. If he would have made that catch, it would have been a big one to get out of this inning pretty quick, because it could have meant that it would have been a double play. Now, instead, we have runners on first and second, no one out. And batting is Dwayne Kemp, second baseman, hasn't done anything significant at bat in this game just yet. But as we all know, he could do something. He's showing the bunt, and rightfully so. Runners on first and second, no one out. It's almost like a tie-break play. So what do? You bunt.
I like this. I like this strategy call. Let's see if they do it again here with a ball and no strike. I like that. You're not going to get a whole bunch of opportunities against Lars Heijer, and Kemp indeed squares the bunt, but time is called by Goins, the catcher. He wants to give Heijer a little bit of a breather, a little bit of time to go through the motions.
And also to check what ball are you going to throw against someone who's definitely going to bunt. What would you, as being a catcher, which ball would you call if you were the catcher now? You know he's going to bunt.
Fastball high, because it's very difficult to bunt a high fastball down, so you're more likely to pop it up. So high and inside, not too far inside, obviously. You don't want to hit anyone, but fastball high and inside has a better chance of being bunted in the air. Maybe a slider low and away. Difficult to actually make contact with. In no scenario do I want to throw a changeup or a curveball when we know for sure that someone's bunting, because that will only help deaden the ball for the bunter. It will give him better pitch to bunt, more time to aim for it, and that's a great pitch, but also a great bunt. Oh, it's thrown away. It is thrown away at first base, and that means Bernardina scores. Kemp is thrown out at second base, trying to stretch that play into 2 bases, but he does put an extra run on the board, another run on the board. It's 5-4 now in favor of HCAW, as an excellent bunt by Kemp. I got to say, that was not an easy pitch, because that was a low and away pitch. I don't think it was a slider. I think it was a fastball, but it's like that's a pitch that I would not wanted to have thrown. Like an outside low and away fastball is fairly easy to bunt. All you have to do is poke your bat out. It will basically deaden itself on the bat because you're not really capable of making pushing contact with it. So it was a great bunt by Kemp. It was nicely, cleanly fielded, but thrown away.
Yeah, but Quinten de Cuba took his sweet time. Yep. Looking at third base, I'm gonna throw it there. No, I'm gonna turn around, look at first base, and then he threw it away. Way too low, not a good throw at all. And that's a run for Neptunus, and that gets them to 5-4, and even more so, a runner on first and third, no one out. We have a ball game.
One away. Kemp was thrown out at second base.
He was thrown out at second. My bad, I did not.
I understand this defensive play, because HCAW are playing on the grass. They're playing in. They want to do whatever they can to prevent that runner from third from scoring. And with Christian Diaz at the plate, Diaz has a tendency to hit line drives or balls in the air. I do hope he makes me look good here by not grounding it straight at someone in the infield. But usually when I see Christian Diaz bat, he hits balls in the air. So this might be a bit of wishful thinking there. There's a grounder, but nicely played. See, and that's why you play the infield in, because that prevented the runner from third from moving up a bag and scoring. Nice job by the HCAW infield. correct strings pulled by Danny Romley here by pulling his infield in. So with 2 away and a 5-4 score in favor of HCAW, it is now up to Dashenko Ricardo to attempt to tie the ball game here in the bottom of the 8th against Lars Heijer, who had been excellent up until the start of this inning.
And now you won't see the infield playing in anymore because it doesn't matter. It's gonna be a high ball usually with Dashenko Ricardo. It's gonna have a lot of power, so it will fly, and you only need 1 out. So it doesn't matter if you play in or not, because if you have the ball and you make the out, it's end of the inning. So he wouldn't be able to score from third base.
You see Bob van der Meer playing all the way back at shortstop. You can see him number 3 here on the back.
Completely different lineup, like setting for the defense, and a big swing and a miss for Dashenko Ricardo. Big pitch for Lars Heijer.
You have to wonder how many more pitches Heijer has in his arm. He's at 110.
It's quite a lot, but he's still looking strong with that nice pitch. 1-1 count now with 2 out.
That seems low. Let me refresh my page real quick.
There's a high fly ball to right field. Is it gonna drop? Is it gonna drop in the line? No, it does not drop.
What a catch.
Beautiful, beautiful play by Victor Dreyer in right field. Fantastically done. It was very close whether it would have gone in safe territory or foul territory or not, but he took no chance at all, went for it, and had a beautiful sliding to get that ball and prevent any more runs from coming in, which means HCAW is still leading 5-4 now.
Okay, that pitch total is not correct. I see that the scoreboard here on my laptop is short. It's slow to update, so it's more than 111, and I've just been told that Lars Heijer's high is 150 pitches in one game this year against Amsterdam. So you think that he has a couple of more in his arm?
Absolutely, he has endurance for sure.
But you have to think that whoever's warming up in the bullpen, I can't see a jersey number, but will be taking over for the 9th inning with a 1-run lead. $115. He's at 115 now.
115.
Yeah, my scoreboard, personal scoreboard, just updated. Let's also shout out Victor Dreyer. What an amazing catch in right field.
Beautiful.
Ending that inning.
Beautiful. That ball was going like right on the edge. So it was the furthest run that he had to do. He couldn't stretch it any longer. And he needed that sliding in order to catch it, and he did. Where he kind of failed in his first attempt while he was sliding. When he failed to get the ball, that was against Roger Bernardina. Now he executed it perfectly at a clutch timing as well, to prevent any other runs from coming in.
We were talking about the possible MVP chances for Lars Heijer earlier in the broadcast. I just noticed that he's batting 1,000 on the season too.
Absolutely.
One for one.
Yeah, but a very important one. Does he? Was it an RBI?
Yeah, 2 RBIs.
2 RBIs, exactly.
Yeah, 2 RBIs.
Yeah.
Huge hit.
Yep. Was it a double or a single?
It was a single. 2 RBI single.
RBI single. Yeah. I remember that. It was one of the last games of the season.
Batting a clean 1,000 on the season.
Exactly.
There's a bunt by Martina popped up. There was a high pitch in the zone, so those are easier to bunt.
Yep.
Up and into the air.
One more chance for HCAW to extend that lead, because Curaçao Neptunus came crawling closer and closer to the visitors, and they probably would love to have a little bit more of a cushion going into that last half inning.
As this is Aaron Groot's ball game right now, as no one's warming up in the Neptunus bullpen, and the Groot gets a swinging strikeout. Dashenko Ricardo, excellent block on that pitch in the dirt, and throws out the runner for the completion of the strikeout. Brindley Martina, the speedy runner, retired on his way back to the dugout. Yeah,
we'll actually see some light flashes in. I mean, it's far away, so that shouldn't bother us at all, especially not as late in this game as we are. Victor Dreyer now up for HCAW. The man of the hour, the man of the beautiful sliding catch a couple of minutes ago. Can he also show it in this phase of the game? Attacking wise. Well, he falls this one back. It will stay in the low-hanging nets, the protection nets for the audience here.
As the Groot takes a long look into Ricardo and fires a breaking pitch outside. Excellent block once again by Ricardo.
Absolutely,
Such
he's
a
been
good
all
defensive
over the
catcher.
place.
Yeah,
Wow, beautiful.
really good game behind the plate. There were some issues earlier in the game where Juan Carlos Subban apparently struggled with seeing the pitch signs from Ricardo as yeah, that's a strikeout. Excellent.
Yeah.
So
He had to
Ricardo,
check.
yeah, he juggled the ball a little bit. He wanted to make sure that
He didn't have to tag him
Exactly,
in order
but
to complete the strikeout.
yeah, the batter already gave himself up because
Yeah.
he was walking back to the dugout. So at that point, you can call him out on a strikeout. But nice job by Dashenko Ricardo, making sure by asking home plate umpire Olaf Steiger, "We good?"
Sure. Okay,
good?
good. Nice. And that's 2 outs, 2 quick outs. And going for the third now, it must be Jandro Tromp. He's been playing defensively fantastic, actually. Just like his colleague, center fielder, Christian Diaz in this game. So a nice plays, some nice rundowns. And now he hits it way up and away.
And out of play.
Yeah, exactly.
Behind the HCAW dugout or a bullpen, I'm still trying to see who is warming up. Can't tell.
Feel the tension in the audience rising a little bit. Maybe not for this batter, maybe not for Tromp, but especially for the next at-bat for Curaçao Neptunus. They're anxiously awaiting who will actually come up on the mound. Will it still be Lars Heijer? Will he finish it off himself? And what can Neptunus do?
It's a great pitch by the Groot. That slider has been working for him today. Late break, drops into the zone at the very last second. And then he follows it up with another breaking ball on the outside corner, and that's a ball. So a 2-2 count here, 2 away in the top of the ninth. The top of the ninth.
De Groot trying to convince the umpire that it actually was a strike. Umpire was not impressed, so Aaron Mount back on the mound. Aaron de Groot back on the mound.
That's outside once more. So a full count here with 2 away for Jandro Tromp. As he swings and lines it into center field, where once again Christian Diaz is Johnny on the spot. And he makes another catch. I think he leads the game. He leads everyone in putouts today. As I see Jason scanning his scorecard to make sure that I'm not talking out of my
Yeah,
behind.
no, I'm looking at seven
putouts?
putouts, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's quite a bit, huh?
All flyouts. And a couple of really hard ones.
Yep.
So no Lars Heijer in the final inning.
De werpcijfers voor Lars Heijer van de 8 innings, 25 slag, 2 keer gemeten tegen 912 tegenzeven maakte 1 fout.
So we'll give you the final score line on Lars Heijer. He pitched 8 innings today for HCAW. Gave up 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of those were earned. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts on 115 pitches, 78 of which were strikes.
Impressive stats for Lars Heijer. He might not be too happy with the amount of base hits that he got against, because that's not something that he's really used to. But the amount of strikeouts, 5 in total in this game, maybe also not what he's used to. But hey, this is the World Series. We're now playing for the marbles. We're playing against the big guys, and they're all playing heart to heart. Lars Heijer struggling a little bit in the first stage of this game. Gave up 2 runs in the first inning and 3 base hits. But he recovered pretty quickly in the second inning with only 1 base hit. It was a double though, but also a strikeout. And in the third inning, he had a base on balls, hit by pitch, and fielder's choice. A lot of people on base, but no damage just yet. The damage came in the 5th and the 8th inning, so that makes it 4 runs now for Neptunus. Neptunus looking at their final chance to get back into this game, maybe even win it, but it's definitely not there yet. They need to cover ground. They need to get back into this game. 5-4 right now, only trailing by 1 run, but we've seen how hard it is to pass this HCAW defense.
Do you think the stadium DJ here in Rotterdam realizes that YMCA is also often used in Bussum for HCAW?
Probably not actually, no. Alright, the first man to do it for the Curaçao Neptunus, the man to lead it off, the man who has to maybe start something, Shedion Yamanika. Tension definitely rises now. And HCAW is getting louder and louder.
We would love to tell you who the current pitcher is, but is that jersey number 26? I don't have a jersey number 26 listed for a pitcher on the HCAW roster that I have here.
Oh, it's Jared Mortensen. And the reason why he's not on the
he's here.
roster,
He's got jersey number 0 on the roster here.
Okay, yeah, no, he is actually one of the Germans, or he is flown in right at the end of the season to Bussum from Germany, from Paderborn, actually.
Yeah, he hasn't pitched that this year. I was going to tell you all about his hoofdklasse stats.
No, this is his first. He flew in. He came in really late, right at the end of the season, just within the limits of where it was possible to allow him to compete for Bussum, for HCAW. And there he is, Jared Mortensen.
The more you know.
Strikes out Shedion Yamanika, big strike out there, big swing and a miss. And that's unfortunate for Shedion Yamanika because that would have been a really, really nice pitch to get something going. If you hit that, it flies off. Big swing and a miss now for the first out, and we're back on top of the order. It's Stijn van der Meer.
Trying to find some information on Jared Mortensen, but I found a Jared Mortensen, but I don't know if this is the same. No, because this guy throws right. Yeah, well, it could be. Doesn't really matter. One away as he throws his next pitch to Stijn van der Meer, who bloops it over the head of Bob van der Meer into the outfield.
Now that's a typical signature Stijn van der Meer base hit. Getting the contact, make sure no one gets to it, no one is even able to get close to it, let alone to catch it. Very firm, good base hit for Stijn van der Meer. And that's how you might start already. That's how you get the spirit back in the game, back in the inning, back in the offense. Following him up in the batting box is Jan Guido Tron. Started off pretty good with a base hit. And there he hits it, and it goes into the left side. Oh no, it's foul. It's foul. It was hard to see from my position here. Not everyone is convinced in the audience either, but it looked like it was going right into the corner of the Familiestadion. And there's some controversy going now between some supporters groups here. We have a nice group from Bussum and a nice group on the top of the stadium from Rotterdam supporters, from Neptunus supporters. And they're going at it, and it's getting, the tension is getting a little bit higher. Runner on first, and the 0-1 pitch. And that's ball one.
I found Jared Mortensen, by the way. He came from Heidenheim Heidekupfer.
Oh, there you go.
Just so you know. And he's Canadian.
Ah, okay. Yep.
33 years old from Abbotsford, Canada. Went to LSU, Louisiana State in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Ball 2 now, making the count 2-1 with 1 out. And runner first. Can Jared Mortensen keep it together? Can he finish off this ball game, or will Neptunus get into it? 2-1 for John Tromp. There is it. It grounds to the first base. He flicks it. No, he does not, and he gets it. Save on first base, John Tromp.
He's called out. Is Jan Tromp. I can't tell if it was for running out of the baseline or if it was for being tagged out. I did not see that tag at all, so it must be for running out of the baseline.
I guess it was a tag, to be honest. It must have been a tag.
He did not hit him at all. Like there was air between the glove and the player.
Controversy on the field. Neptunus not happy with that call, but must have been the tag.
I do see Brendan Martina came over to first base to ask umpire John Beltman if the runner shouldn't be moved back to first base, I think. So that would indicate some kind of obstruction play, but I don't know.
Well, if it's not the case, then it must have been a tag. Okay, so
yeah.
it was
Either way, he's out.
But at least, well, he's out. And that makes it 2 outs with a runner on second. At bat is now John Polonius. We do have a runner. Neptunus at least has a runner in scoring position. One good blast could do it. We've seen it before.
It's very interesting.
We've seen it happen so many times in situations like this.
I love that HCAW just throws a guy on the mound here who has not pitched in the Hoofdklasse this year at all, but has been literally everywhere in the world. We got the minor leagues, we got indie ball, we got AA, AAA, single A, Dominican Winter League, more indie ball, and then the Frontier League in Canada, and then Germany for Heidenheim. So he's been everywhere, and now he's here, trying to close out the game 1 of the Holland Series, as that pitch is low for a ball. HCAW looking to take a 1-0 lead here in this best-of-7 series. They're leading 5-4, 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th. Neptunus down to their final out. 2 balls and a strike to Polonius, the veteran infielder, who will be looking to drive in Stijn van der Meer, number 18. You can see on your screen from second base that pitch is outside.
Making the count 3-1 now. It's a batter's count. Will this be the moment for John Polonius to clutch it out? He has done this before. He has been in this spot. He has the qualities. He has the experience. Can John Polonius deliver? One good blow, one good hit would be enough to wheel in Stijn van der Meer, number 18, right here in front of your screen. There's the delivery, and he swings and he misses for strike 2. That's a full count. And he definitely wanted to go for it. He went for it, but swings and misses for strike 2. Getting into that full count.
This is what kids dream of, doesn't it? Like as a pitcher, as a young pitcher, this is what you dream of. Bottom of the 9th, full count, 2 away with a runner in scoring position. I want to be the guy that beats this batter. And when you're the batter, you dream about getting the clutch hit. As there's the pitch by Mortensen, it's lined into right field, where it will be caught. And HCAW take a 1-0 lead in the Holland Series 2022. 5-4 is your final score, as Neptunus tried to rally in the bottom of the 9th, but falls short by 1 run. HCAW come into Rotterdam and snag it away from the home team and take a 1-0 lead. And that wraps up our coverage of this ball game.
Absolutely, and what a ball game we had. We'll do the post-game interviews and the post-game analysis right after this. Make sure to follow our socials and to go to honkbalsoftball.tv to get updated with all the new content that we will get to you from here, from Bussen, from the baseball, from the Holland Series 2022 here in Holland. Thank you so much for being with us. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, and we love to see you on Saturday at 2 p.m. sharp.
On behalf of our producer, Jeroen Goedemans, who did an outstanding job once again today, making us look good. On behalf of Jason Houtkamp and on behalf of myself, Jasper Roos, thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you Saturday at 2 p.m.